Yo, what up? Hey,
Hello.
how y'all doing? Is that it? No, I keep doing it
Hello.
wrong these days. Hello. Welcome back to... Yeah, what'd you find?
I found an easy trick to make sure that you're actually full screen to the right screen when it says 0 on the right side instead of 1920.
What do you mean?
Well, if you exit out of this screen again,
Oh, okay, sure.
right click.
Is this important right
No.
Uh-huh.
now?
You see at the 0 or minus 1920 way on the right side.
Oh, this? Yes.
Yeah, if it says 0, it's the right one.
Ah, gotcha.
All
right.
You can see it's fine.
Chat
we
has
go.
no context.
Yeah,
no
no
idea
They're just
what we're
listening
talking
to us
about.
say numbers.
Yep, sorry about that. Hi,
No
everybody.
context.
Welcome back. Welcome back to Grace Attorney. Last time we heard about a mysterious man who died in prison named Selden with no last name yet, or first name. Could be their last name. Don't know. And now I believe
Selden Green.
I believe our first course of action is to go back here. I think so.
Speaking from experience, you have no time to experiment with OBS until it's too late.
It is February.
Mr. Naruhodo, I've just finished speaking with the doctor. It seems Miss Green is well enough to be discharged at last.
Oh, this is good news. But hopefully just before she leaves... Blah!
Ah!
What is it? No? Excuse? Miss Green!
A little sip.
What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back.
You're drinking paint?
One moment. I'll be with you in a jiffy.
Oh, okay.
I really want to like you.
What's up with you?
Oh, hello everyone. What are you all doing here?
It's probably medicine, Jay.
Oh.
The doctor said I can be discharged, so I'm just getting my things together. Miss Green, what were you just doing?
I know what it is.
Uh,
It's the
oh!
old-timey... It's the old-timey version of those old markers that you can smell. It smells like fruit.
Oh, I
She's
see.
gone in too deep.
Oh! Nothing, really. I was just about to take some medicine that the doctor prescribed for me, that's all.
See?
Well, we were hoping to have another quick chat with you if that's alright.
I don't really have anything else to tell you.
Alright. She's definitely behaving strangely. Let's see if we can't coax something out of her. Okay, let's do that. Hi. It's wonderful news that you're going to be discharged, Miss Green.
Oh, yes. I mean, thank you. Once people are better, the hospital staff don't want them lingering and wasting space. Not people like me, anyway.
Any people.
So I don't think I should keep anyone waiting. I probably shouldn't stand around and chat.
She certainly doesn't seem to be in the mood to talk, that's for sure. By the way, chat, how are volume levels? Let me know. Okay, should I be presenting something? Yes.
Yes.
If you want to know, I did hear a bit of an echo, but I'm not sure if that was who the end that came from.
Okay, I mean, it's probably me, because I can't hear it. Is anybody else hearing this echo?
I didn't notice it.
Okay. Wasn't there something we wanted to present? Was it this? Hi, do you want to have a look at
it's
this?
and also
Yeah, take a look at
we
this.
should examine the quote-unquote medicine.
Where did they give it to us?
It's right behind her.
I think it's in the background.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Miss Green, we were hoping to ask you about someone. Mr. Duncan Ross. You knew him, didn't you?
Oh, we had a last name. Oh, God.
Oh,
The bottle!
Oh.
Oh no!
that doesn't look good.
That's
Oh
blood!
no!
It's paint.
I'm so sorry. The bottle of medicine fell down when she did.
Oh, Miss Green, are you all right?
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to startle you like that.
No, it's all right.
Well,
I
apparently
just
there's-
wasn't expecting it.
Apparently, there's good dialogue if you examine the bottle first.
Oh. Oops. Well, sorry about that.
Nah, it's fine.
Do it yourself.
How do you know about Duncan?
No choice but to reload now.
Mr. Ross had been writing a letter when he passed away. The landlord found it in his room. It was a very personal letter. To you. It was at art school. That's where I met Duncan. A year ago now. He was working to fund his studies. He dreamt of becoming a professional artist one day. And the two of you became romantically involved. Yes, that's right. We were very much in love. We were engaged to be married, actually. That's why he decided to move into a cheaper room, to save money for the wedding.
And that's what led him to Mr. Gyarados.
Yes. He told me he'd found the worst but cheapest room in the entire East End. And then, 1 month ago, that's when it happened. We're so terribly sorry, Miss Green. Well, it's all in the past now, I suppose. Poor Miss Green. She looks so desperately sad.
I was starting to think that that's just her look. But now I see that she has every reason to feel the universe is against her.
I do hope you won't think I'm being rude, but would you mind leaving me in peace now? I have to leave the hospital soon.
Oh, I'm so sorry. We didn't mean to hold you up. Of course, we'll be on our way. Sholmes?
Mr. Naruhodo?
Yeah!
Yeah, there he is.
Should
Who
they not
else
about
would-
to
Wait.
leave? That's quite
Wait.
out of the question. What?
Wait.
Can we look behind the text box at the rat that drank the medicine?
I don't think I can. How would I do that? Oh, I guess I could.
Wasn't there an option?
Yeah, but I'm sure it'll have us look. Wow, Mr.
Yeah.
Sholmes, I didn't realize you were here.
But of course I was, my dear fellow. Watching intently from the shadows as always.
Well, make your presence known next time. Oh God, is it dead?
Mr. Sholmes, what's this about? I think it's dead, yeah.
Oh yeah, it's
I
dead.
think it looks
God.
dead. It's not medicine.
Nope.
Something which occurs to me with some regularity, Mr. Zato, is this. Why do detectives insist on such an ex post facto modus operandi? Why solve a case after it's happened? Instead of preventing a case before it happens. That is what sets a great detective apart.
Do you want to get Minority Report? Because that's how you get a Minority Report. What do you mean?
What is that?
It's a good movie. I'll show you later.
There is a case of waiting to happen under your very noses, Mr. Naruhodo. So let's avert disaster. Let us prevent this case from even happening with nothing but careful observation and some lab rats.
Oh, all right.
All the clues you need are set before you. You need only look, and you cannot fail to see.
You can do it, Mr. Naruhodo. I know you can.
Okay. You want me to
So,
look at the dead rat?
So,
Uh-huh.
It might be knockout juice.
Okay,
about
maybe.
that rat.
Yeah, about that rat.
look at that rat.
Oh, mouse! That mouse
No.
seems to be dead. Look, I didn't notice it there before. Did you? Didn't they call it a rat in the other scene? I thought they did.
You could use it changeably depending on your mood
They're different animals.
and their size.
I think perhaps it drank the medicine that spilled out of the bottle.
Maybe it's poisonous to rats.
But that's the bottle that Miss Green was about to drink from when we arrived.
You don't think?
9?
I see you've come to appreciate the true nature of the scene. That's of a tragedy about to take place.
Yes, I think it's falling into place. Miss Green, the contents of the bottle that you had before has spilt out onto the floor, and the poor mouse that drank it has sadly died.
Ah!
I think it's clear that the bottle must have contained a powerful poison.
Don't worry. I will attend to the mouse presently.
Oh, thank you, Susato.
Give it a burial.
Miss Green, were you intending to go the same way as that rodent? To take your own life?
Once we left, you would have put it to your lips again, wouldn't you? And taken the poison?
No! Miss Green, please talk to us.
Oh, okay. Well, I guess I'll look at this now. It definitely feels as though this card must be relevant.
Oh.
I mean, when we first arrived, Miss Green was standing with it in her hand in what can only be described as a very tense atmosphere.
Is that the other half of the letter we had?
Oh, might be.
Oh, it maybe. Yes. It may very well be related to whatever incident Mr. Sholmes believes was about to happen here. Perhaps we should ask Miss Green about it.
Okay. It looks like the right color. I believe you're right. Yeah. Oh, whoops. Nope. Okay. Miss
Yeah,
Green.
that looks like it.
Miss Green. Woo. J-Boy? Jay?
Jay?
Weed whacker.
Weed Whacker.
Okay, die.
Is that what it says in the Discord?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh.
oh boy.
Gamer Sholmes for now?
10 seconds later, we would have to arrive at a very different scene here. In all probability, we would not have enjoyed this most delightful conversation. Of course, perhaps it hasn't been quite so delightful from your perspective, Miss Green.
Actually, in a way, now that everything's out in the open, I feel like a weight has been lifted.
Tell me, how did you acquire that medicine?
Well, with this being a hospital and all, when the doctor comes to examine me in the mornings, he always leaves the medicine cabinet open for a while, so I snuck this out while he wasn't looking.
I can hear again.
Hello.
Yay!
Yay.
Oh, they tried to rework my actual window? What was that?
I would have wanted to hear that. It sounds fun.
No. No. Anyway, it conspicuously lacks a label. I wonder what it contains. Romeo and Juliet juice?
Hmm.
I'm afraid I don't really know.
It's the
But-
weed whacker.
But I thought if I drank it, it might just stop the pain somehow. Oh, please, Miss Green, don't talk of such things.
Well, it seems clear now that it contains poison.
Yes, that poor little mouse is proof of that. Oh no. Oh, it's all my fault. What have I done?
I shall remove this to my office, Miss Green. I take it you have no objection?
I think the hospital might.
No, none.
Well, okay.
Neither the sender's name or address appear to be written on the envelope or the card. It arrived by post at my home the day before the incident that put me in the hospital here.
I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anybody else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Wait a minute. The 17th of this month? That's the day that you were stabbed on Briar Road.
And 5 p.m.?
Is precisely the time when the incident occurred. The Slug and Salad, yes. A pub to the northern corner of Briar Road.
Oh, Briar Road, being the street that Mr. Garridub's house is on.
Does this mean that... Yes, I'm sure you've guessed. That day when I was struck in the back by that knife, I was actually on my way to the Slug and Salad. Goodness.
So that's what you were doing on Briar Road that day.
I'm sorry I didn't say anything before. I think I really will have to ask you to excuse me now. I've told you everything.
Yes, I'm very sorry to have to drag up such painful memories for you.
No, it's fine. Miss Green. Please, promise us you won't try to do anything like that again. Yes, don't worry. Your detective friend has the bottle now anyway. And besides, I've been stabbed in the back and had a close shave with a bottle of poison, and I'm still here. I think I'm destined to see things through to the end.
I mean, considering working its way through your system, it might take a bit for it to hit you over.
Stay quiet.
It might
No.
sound a little conceited, but, well, that's how all this has made me feel.
Leaving Miss Green in St. Bartholomew's behind, we made our way back to Baker Street with Mr. Sholmes.
Well, it would appear we've reached the end of the investigative trail for today.
Yes, it's late.
And, Miss Naruhodo? Did you discover anything that may be of use to you in court tomorrow, do you think?
Details about Mr. Shakespeare, Mr. Garridub's lodgings, the convict, Selden. There are many facets to this case, and we've yet to see the heart of it, if you ask me. That's my feeling, anyway.
I can't help wondering about the results of the analysis.
Enter Mr. Natsume's tea, you mean?
Yes. Will they have found strychnine in it or not?
Well, I fear that either way, it will be hard to escape the grip of our friend, Mr. Reaper.
Oh dear.
Yes, Barrack Van Zeeks.
But I wish you every success, of course. And though I was late to rise this morning, tomorrow will be a new dawn. I intend to spring from my bed crisp hour and attend the trial. I'll do it, yes.
Mr. Sholmes, you're going to come?
Oh, indeed. Whatever happens, I shall be there, assuming my eyelids cooperate in the morning.
Well, I think we've done all we can. All that's left is to remain focused and keep fighting for Mr. Natsume's cause until the very end. London, the world's most prosperous city, home to some 6 million people. But away from the razzle-dazzle, down back alleys and behind bricked-up windows, the lonely lurk. Soseki-san had battled long and hard with loneliness during his many months here. And so I felt honor-bound to battle equally hard for my compatriot, to lift the curse that gripped him. As Mr. Sholmes said, tomorrow would be a new dawn, for all of us.
Yeah.
Lot of sad moments in this chapter, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. To be continued.
Yeah, we're off to an uncomfortable start.
Hmm.
Okay. Yes, that's perfect. Thank you for that. It is February. Whoa,
Happy
very close.
February.
Hi.
Hi there, Sasaki.
We needed you, Saseki.
This is it then, Mr. Naruhodo.
Yes, it's time to put an end to this now. To the miserable curse that has been plaguing Mr. Natsume's... to everything.
And in my own small way, I shall do everything I can to help you.
I always appreciate your help, Miss Susato.
Suffering Toseki, selflessly sidelined!
Good morning to you too, Mr. Natsume.
Good morning! Good morning, lads and Mrs. Hudson, Esquire! Listen to you two, taking away happily as if the main player of today's trial isn't here! Why would you do that? Why?
Oh, dear, we didn't mean to cause offense, Mr. Natsume. I thought perhaps that because you had your eyes shut so tightly, you were meditating, finding inner calm. It seemed wrong to disturb you.
I was waiting! What's the matter, Mr. Natsume? You seem different somehow today. Why, naturally, because I've attained spiritual enlightenment. The path of literature, you see, is a journey to discover one's own death. Or such like. That's the sort of morning conversation I was hoping for. That's why I had my eyes shut.
I missed the signs, I'm afraid, somehow. You'll have to forgive me.
And you mustn't talk of your path leading you to your death, Mr. Natsume.
That was just an example.
Oh yes, there it is. Inner calm.
You barely came to see me at all yesterday. I was sure you would abandon me and return to your beautiful, long-lasting homeland.
We've not even been in Great Britain a week yet.
Yes, well, anyway. I intend to set everything straight in court today. I'm determined to uncover the truth.
I've actually reached an important decision myself.
Oh? What sort of decision?
I shall fill you in after the trial when I am still alive.
All
Yeah,
right.
I'll be alive. That's right.
Yeah.
It would seem Mr. Sholmes isn't coming today after all. It's a very clever message, I think. My dear fellows, you must win this battle on your own merits.
It's a
He
very
overslept,
clear...
didn't he?
It's a very clear message, I think, that he's overslept again.
The great detective, my arch nemesis. Long may he stay away, if you ask me.
Oh,
Defendants and your legal representative, the trial is about to begin. Make your way to the courtroom immediately.
wow. Really hit the energy with that character. Today, once again, we face the Reaper. And when the Reaper stands for the prosecution, the defendant's fate is sealed. But I don't believe in that legend any more than I believe in Soseki-san's curse. The truth is hidden here somewhere, and I won't let it escape me. I have to keep believing in my client, and keep fighting to the very end. That's all.
You should see the smile on my face after I do the Bafali voice. It's very funny.
I also imagine you having some break nights also have helped with your energy.
What?
Maybe.
February. Oh, who today?
You take it?
Was it Lunar on the list? No, was it Jay on the list?
Did it change?
Now,
Well, it was
my only
unbalanced.
time as the judge has passed, it seems.
Yeah, I
Was
think
it
maybe
you?
Jay is the judge now. Yeah, it's divided in two.
Oh wait, no,
it's
that's the
Jay.
wrong game. I'm
It's
looking
Jay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. I shall call upon the counsel for the prosecution and defense to declare their willingness to proceed.
The prosecution is ready.
Yes, the defense is ready.
Very good. And now I call upon the 6 ladies and gentlemen of the jury, chosen by lots to represent the will of the people in this trial. Are you ready to proceed? Are you the same people? You're the same people. How does this happen?
Absolutely, we're the same people.
How
They're
does
Justice
the
will be
first
done.
trial.
You mark my words.
It's the same trial.
Oh, right, yes.
Yeah, they wouldn't have changed.
Yeah.
I feel obliged to say, I feel especially ruthless on days when my hat is sitting just right.
Oh, well, I wonder if you could just adjust that hat for me. And please, be as ruthless as you like.
Excuse.
Thieves deserve to die, if you ask me. Especially gas thieves. I have no sympathy for the man at all.
Look, I said it yesterday and I'll say it again now. I don't have time for this. I've got my own problems.
Oh, may the Lord show us the light here and lead his flock to a righteous verdict again today. Soft beard. Oh, no. Oh, now, Lord Van Zix, what can you tell us? The prosecution's report, please, for the court. In relation to the theory expounded by the defense yesterday regarding the defendant's tea.
So he does have the results.
Give us the tea.
Yeah.
Is that liquid the same colored liquid that came out
Yes.
of the bottle?
No.
It kind of is. No, that was like a deeper red, wasn't it?
Okay, okay.
It was pinker.
It would be kind of funny if there was like Reaper juice in the.
Juice.
That would kill you.
It was more
What if it came out of the
Danganronpa
bottle
color.
clear? What if it came out of the bottle clear?
Oh.
Why would it?
Oh, you're talking about the medicine.
Oh, you're
bottle.
talking about the
Medicine.
poison, the
Oh,
mist.
that killed the rat.
green
Yes.
The one-
I thought you were talking
Right,
about-
the
Olive
I thought you were
poison,
talking about
Olive's
the,
poison, the poison for Olive, that poison.
Wow.
Before the prosecution delivers the black news about the black tea belonging to the blackguard in the dock.
What?
Pray allow me a moment to savor a liquid of a more sanguine hue. In fact, I'll defer to the good detective for the report.
Oh, hi.
Here's to you, Inspector.
Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. As indicated by the defense, we found a bar of soap just outside the victim's window in the snow. And there was indeed a frozen reddish liquid in little depression on top of it.
Yes, that's the tea. That's what Mr. Natsume brought with him that night.
Well, the brains of the art analyzed it, and yes, you're right, it was tea. And there wasn't a trace of strychnine or any other toxic substance in it.
Oh,
No poison at all.
that's really good for us,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That means
Yeah.
that Saseki much less likely.
Yeah.
In other words, the tea that the defendant brought with him to the victim's room is innocent. It's in the clear.
Nice.
What a revelation!
Ah, bah, 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 bah.
Yay.
As I suspected. This makes it quite clear. The defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume, is blameless here.
Objection. My learned friend is jumping to conclusions again. A typical Nipponese reaction.
What?
Yes, it's true no poison was found in the few drops of liquid recovered from the soap on the window ledge. But, what logic is that? Would you take a drop from the Thames and conclude the water in the ocean isn't salty?
Thames!
Who the fuck is Tem?
They did good work in Undertale. My word! The water in the ocean is extremely salty, Council.
Hi, I'm Tammy.
Exactly. Unfit for drinking, just as the victim's tea was on the night in question, as the court has already heard. Bitter was the precise word from the lips of Mr. William Shakespeare. Ha! Who the prosecution now calls back to the stand. Oh, yes! He's back!
Right into it.
All right.
Very well, I will uphold the prosecution's request.
Mr. Shamspeare.
Yes, it sounds like we're going to have have another confrontation with our theatrical friend.
Barfleaf, show Mr. Shamspeare to the stand. I wish they'd respond.
Oh. I immediately have to start coughing. What the hell?
An allergic reaction.
Allergic reaction.
Yeah, definitely.
Mr. William Shakespeare, the victim of this despicable crime.
You just see his face with a smile, and one his eyes just start watering.
Oh, heaven! Oh, hell! Do you command me to remember? For sooth 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a belly full of the foul fluid given. Is mine innocence in mine innocence?
Yes, but as was revealed in yesterday's proceedings,
Oh yeah? Tell me more.
the witness was not as innocent as we had perhaps first had been led to believe.
Oh.
By using bars of soap as such as this, he has been stealing gas from the supply company, yes.
That's almost as bad a crime as downloading Photoshop to multiple computers.
Mm-hmm.
Perish the thought!
One may smile and be a villain. Forsooth, 'twas I, Shamspeare, did have a room full of sweet fuel given. That's right, fellow jurors, don't forget, this man is a rotten thief.
I haven't forgotten. Kept all that about the ice coins a tidy secret, didn't you? You should have owned up sooner.
Arrest him, I say! Arrest him at once! And let him feel the sting of my tail.
Oh, indeed, by dint of vile and cowardly means have I plotted to further mine own ends, I confess. Thou wouldst not pardon my sins, of that I am sure.
If you acknowledge your wrongdoing, what exactly are you doing here?
Cowards die many times before their deaths, and for a coward such as I, death be well deserved. But would it that a still greater crime passeth unpunished? For lo, the hairy-faced gentleman of the Father is, than Verona did contrive to poison me.
Objection! But there was no poison in the tea found in your room. The police have attested to that.
What the defense would assert is that an inconsistency will quickly be cleared up by the witness's testimony. Is that not so, Mrs. Shakespeare?
Verily, my liege, I would most gladly speak. Bruh.
Very well. Let the witness testify to explain the inconsistency. Tell the court why it is that poison apparently entered your body, though none was found in the tea.
Witness testimony. The tea inconsistency.
I think there are two very different moods whenever Shakespeare shows up, depending on who you are.
The Japanese man did come to my chamber with tea brewed in a pot. 'Twas in my cup alone that the wicked miscreant Sigary poured his wicked poison. Whilst feigning destruction in our debate, ne'er did a drop of his own drink pass his lips. When he departed by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Thus 'tis no surprise that poison be not found in the tea I did pour into the molds of Soap.
So
Probably gonna have to do with the fact that only one of the cups was filled, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
Possibly. The poison was slipped into the cup after the tea had been poured. The normal way for poison to be administered, in my experience.
Quite. Otherwise, it would be disastrous if the prisoner were to mix up the cups, for instance.
But the poison bottle was found at the scene.
No poison bottle.
Oh, right.
Because, quite simply, the Limpanese took the bottle back to his own room.
Ah,
The absence of a vessel containing the poison only becomes problematic when considering suicide.
I knew that.
By now, it should be perfectly clear. A bar or two of cheap soap is wholly insufficient to wash the deep state of guilt from the accused's hands.
Ah,
Sirs, madams, 'tis true that I, Shamspear, be a common thief of gas. But, listen here, ladies and gentlemen.
is that made of rubber, maybe?
Maybe. Wherefore would I lie? Verily, I have no cause. I have naught to lose.
Well,
I do declare.
Oh, okay.
I do declare.
That's all I do.
Thank you for your testimony, witness. Counsel, proceed with the cross-examination.
Yes, my lord. All right, you. We should talk. Hold it! I understand that you were already acquainted with Mr. Natsume, is that correct?
I know thee not, old man. Fall to thy prayers. Henry V. Do I know thee or know thee not? Methinks 'tis all I can know that thy destiny mingles with mine. No, it's Henry IV, Part 2.
You lost me at the first "the."
Zounds, sir! Thou must learn the English tongue afore thou turnst thy hand to lawyering.
I did, but I must have missed the archaic Elizabethan lecture.
Verily and in truth, 'twas a fine flavoured brew. Though a drop of poison did barb its sweetness, as the thorn doth barb the sweet rose.
Are you going to finish that poison?
That, dear friends, be the simple truth.
listen to Mr. Shamspear. He seems in even better form than he was yesterday.
Either that or I'm in worse form.
That fated evening after I did dine, at the Grubb's Grubbery, a local alehouse of good report, naught did pass my lips but the tainted black tea. But behold, the poison was not in the tea at first.
Alright, hold it. Are you saying that you saw the moment when the poison was added to your tea?
To have witnessed the act and then drank the tea? Thou dost describe the actions of a fool.
Quite so, quite so.
Whoa! But no one likes going thirsty, do they?
I guess.
Sooner would I die quenched than parched. Would have I the choice?
Actually, on the night in question, the water main was frozen, I believe, wasn't it?
Were it not for the tea, and so thou would sooner have died frozen than quenched or parched.
Right. No ice coins means no heating.
The witness had more than one brush with death on the night in question, it would seem. Remind the court, Mr. Shakespeare, as to whether the accused drank any of the tea which he brought with him.
With the greatest of pleasure, my liege.
Okay, let's talk about that. Hold it! But the teacup Mr. Natsume drank from was found completely empty at the scene. And let's not forget the defendant's maxim, drink tea while it's hot.
I did gulp from the poisoned cup that night, and in mine agony did I writhe uncontrolled. In fits of pain I did knock the fellow's cup, and its contents spilt his blood from a gaping wound. Methinks. Though certainly 'twas after I had made the coins of ice from his tea.
An upset cup was found on the table that the victim was slumped over. There is no contradiction here.
It's true. There was no tea left in either cup that we found at the scene. But still, something about this statement is troubling me.
Yes, of course, I know what it is. It's Mr. Natsume's wise drink tea while it's hot maxim, isn't it? Gotta be.
No, I'm not sure it's that.
Thank you, witness. Now reiterate for the court what it is that occupied you after your guest had left before you drank your tea.
Hold it. Yes, so that you could cheat the gas company, in fact, isn't that right?
To cheat, or to die. 'Tis life's only choice.
Yes.
Faith, to cheat be the wise choice, and mine occupation not an ugly one. Prithee, dost thou not see beauty in the simplicity of the ruse?
No, I don't. And be very sure, sir. Once this trial is over, Altamont Gas will take you to task. We'll take you to task over this. Legal task.
I shall not run, I shall not hide. Sooth to say, I have nowhere to run nor to hide. But, my lady, what wouldst thou with this pitiful player?
Oh, I tell you what I'd like to do with you. Starting with the shoddy shirt on your back.
Ooh. 'Tis time for a Shakespeare dance.
What a harsh world we live in.
The thieving of the gas was addressed in yesterday's proceedings. The prosecution calls for the defense not to muddy the waters with irrelevancy.
Consider that a warning, counsel.
Yes, my lord. Why am I the one in trouble here?
Mr. Shakespeare, after the accused returned to his own lodgings, you used his tea to make your coins. Is that correct?
To cheat or to die? I did make my choice many moons ago.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, that was a short one. Wait, is that new? If having first made your special coins, it was after 2 in the morning when you collapsed, that would mean you can't have drunk any tea yourself until around that time.
Once ensnared by literary debate, not hers be found in the furrows of the mind.
The debate about Romeo and Juliet, you mean? And who was stronger of the two?
Rightly did I pay no heed to the tea as I wrestled with the abominable fellow.
I don't remember debates like that when I was studying.
Are you suggesting that neither of you actually drank the tea whilst it was hot that evening?
My lord, wouldst thou be privy to some Shakespearean wisdom? Husband, wife, and tea. Art I tepid be?
Ah, yes, so very true. Everyone has different preferences when it comes to tea.
I think you might have interpreted that wrongly. Oh, so it's been proven that there was no poison in Saseki-san's tea. That should be hugely in our favor. But the atmosphere in this courtroom today...
It feels as though everybody is against us, Mr. Naruhodo.
It may be the Reaper's poison.
I'm afraid that if we don't find a significant flaw in this testimony somewhere, the jury will pounce and find Mr. Natsume guilty.
It really feels like we've jumped into the fire here. Okay. Thinking time. So they already brought up the fact that one of the tea cups was not filled. So maybe it's not that? Where did a drop of his own drink pass his lips? When he's barred by and by, I did use the tea that remained in his cup to make my coins of ice. Except, there is no tea ring on the inside of Mr. Natsume's cup. Is it just this?
Yeah.
Wait, didn't he also say...
Oh,
Didn't he also say that he used Natsume's tea to make coins, and yet he said that he spilled it when he was writhing after being poisoned?
Yeah, I think that's what they're trying to say. But like, oh, you mean like where do we present it? Essentially, right?
so I think what he's saying is that no one drank the tea for a while. Then he used Natsume's cup to make the coin and drank his own cup. But
Okay.
only one cup has a ring, suggesting that one of the cups was drinking soon?
Didn't have
Okay.
time to stain?
Yeah.
Is this right? Yes, correct. Okay. I think I'm gonna try presenting it. Here you go. Take it. Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
You claim that Mr. Natsume didn't drink a drop of tea on the night in question, and that you used the tea that was left in his cup to make your fake coins. But that is not possible.
How, Chop Logic? What is this, ye dark-clad fiend?
Yes,
The two teacups from the scene, one used by the victim and the other by the defendant, have a clear difference between them. One that represents incontrovertible proof.
Incontrovertible?
What difference?
Look at the inside of the cups. Just here, there's a clearly visible ring.
Yes, a tea ring. Commonplace though.
Indeed. Such stains occur all too readily when one leaves the cup of tea for a while.
And yet, Mr. Natsume's cup has no such ring.
Good lord, you're right! It's completely clean.
And prithee, sir, what makest thou of it?
Exactly what Mr. Natsume told the court yesterday. The Japanese saying he quoted. Okay.
While it's hot.
Okay, that worked really well over Parsec. That's right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Gotta be quick on upkeep, boys.
I didn't expect auto scrolling.
Yeah. The jittery Mr. Natsume was true to his usual self that night and drank his tea in no time. Oh,
That's a
if
good
as
face.
if, as you claim in your testimony, he didn't touch a drop of his tea, a ring would have developed on the inside of his cup as well after the several hours the tea was left standing.
But,
In short, Mr. Shamspeare,
The
You
weed
clear-
returns.
you clearly lied to the court.
get thee to another ring!
Oh,
Objection!
As a rule, I fill my hallowed chalice up to 7 times during any one trial.
you might want to keep that information to yourself.
Just wait until the future, then it's gonna be coffee.
Fancy's getting sloshed tonight.
Yet on occasion, tedium distracts me and I pour more tart than I intended until the bottle is dry.
Your drinking habits are fascinating, but irrelevant.
On the contrary, they illustrate the fickleness of human memory. To William Shakespeare.
Yes, my liege.
Though you previously stated that you made the coins of ice from the leftover tea in the accused cup, could it be that you were perhaps mistaken? Could it be that, yes, perhaps there was some tea remaining in that small teapot left at the scene?
Objection, leading the witness.
That doesn't exist yet. A fact that had vanished from your memory until now.
I like that Sabs can just kind of say that for no matter what Van Zeke says, because we are not going to go check.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, faith, my liege, thou art a magician. For verily, 'tis as though thou hadst seen with thine own eyes that night.
What?
Forsooth, I was mistook. I did plan to use tea from the Japanese fellow's cup, but lo, when I looked, 'twas empty. And thus did I use the dregs that festered in the teapot, as my liege did suggest.
Objection. And you've just suddenly remembered now that you made a mistake before? Are we supposed to believe that?
Yes.
Oh.
People's memories are imperfect, my learned friend, which is why we rely on evidence instead. But in any case, it makes no difference. The victim's most recent testimony tells us two things of note. Firstly, that the poison was used put into the victim's teacup only. And secondly, that this spoiled cup was not the source of the insipid ice coins that bewitched this corpse.
Judge?
Okay, just went away again. The prosecution makes a fine summary of the facts.
Now there's a tea kettle that we have to worry about.
Furthermore, the testimony remains valid and in full support of the established facts. In other words, the cape goes off. The inconsistency claimed by the defense simply does not exist.
No!
What does this mean then?
I do declare that means that
About the bit from the thieving gas, obviously.
My lords, ladies, and gentlemen of the jury, I do solemnly swear.
That I am up to no good.
Oh, after I did dine at Grubb's Grubbly Ale House that night, not did pass my lips but the black tea given me by the Japanese, whose back be stooped as low as death. Whose back be stooped as low as death.
Hold on, before we continue, are we dropping frames?
Uh-oh.
No!
No, we've dropped no frames, so
0 frames.
Ha-ha!
Aha! 'Tis
Oh.
you, my friend. Oh,
Oh.
oops. You didn't say that. You didn't say that line, did you? Crap. Hang on. Jay?
Jay.
Weedwhacker?
On what did you dine, sir?
Why, I did partake of my favorites, a broth as would be called soup, and a leaf as wouldst be called salad.
As insalubrious a menu as the establishment where it was served.
But your gods will give us some faults to make us men. Willingly would I suffer what punishment is seen fit to serve a wicked thief of gas. But I pray ye, wise and noble fellows, now forget the simple truth. That be one thing, and this be another. Jurors all, Your humble servant Shamspear doth entreat you, punish the Japanese fellow for his sins.
My
Bath
lord?
leaf?
That's definitely...
Oh.
No.
No.
I wish.
My lord! Because, like, screaming like that's such a Saseki move.
Yeah.
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 If I may speak, my lord.
Yes, Mr. Foreman.
I believe we may have been duped by that Russian defense lawyer.
By me?
I do declare you may be right.
We all know the waif there was making coins of the ice to keep himself warm.
But this lawyer lad says if he's stealing gas, he deserves a dose of poison, eh? He's been leading us up the garden path. That's what he's been doing.
What?
I
What?
really never said anything like that.
But what we have just heard from the victim there has opened our eyes again. We've reached a decision this time, and we won't be swayed from it.
The court acknowledges the position of the jury foreman and will duly hear the jury's findings.
What? No! You can't yet!
Ladies and gentlemen
Gentlemen
of
have.
the jury, you will state your decisions now.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
Guilty. Guilty.
Guilty.
And here we go again.
Yay!
I hereby declare the jury to be on one accord.
Oh, happy day! Little Shimka.
How is this happening? My lord, the defense asserts its right to carry out a summation examination as always.
Very well, the court upholds the defense's right as always.
Typical. My learned friend is unable to accept the obvious truth.
This trial will therefore enter its second summation examination immediately. Jurors, the court calls upon each of you to state the grounds upon which you find the defendant guilty of the crime in which he is charged. And please be sensible this time.
They won't be.
I just felt like it.
The jury's intentions.
I'm a man of logic, me. And having considered all the evidence, the defendant must logically be guilty.
I do agree that gas is far too expensive. I can quite understand why the man would want to avoid paying.
The stuff explodes and it can poison you. It's absolutely lethal, Cassis!
Gas doesn't
What?
come for free. It costs a fortune to deliver it around the city and maintain the pipes.
Truth be told, the tea my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at times. What?
If nothing else passed the victim's lips that night, there's no other explanation, is there?
So
What
it's
is-
3 and 6.
What is my guy on about?
Right?
He had
Also-
a thing with his wife last trial.
Yeah, he did.
I do feel that perhaps personal opinion about gas and its supply has influenced decisions somewhat.
I'll say.
But never mind.
No, you really should mind.
The truth is, our counter argument wasn't unassailable as we'd hoped. And Mr. Shamspear was poisoned. There can be no doubt of that.
Then how are we supposed to turn this around?
I think we need to establish the method by which Mr. Shamspear was actually poisoned. Our only hope is to demonstrate that to the court incontrovertibly.
But that's surely almost impossible at this stage.
If we don't manage it, though, Mr. Natsume
Will be found guilty.
No delays, counsel. Proceed to the summation examination.
Okay. Sounds good. The defense's rebuttal. All right, you talk to me. All the evidence, you say?
That's right. And when there's no room for doubt, that's right, and there's no room for doubt. It's all pointing at that Japanese man with the big mustache.
Says the Englishman with the bigger mustache.
Which means we need to show the man some new evidence to make him change his mind.
Technically, these are 30% sideburns.
If only we had that kind of evidence.
Don't worry. This summation examination has barely started, really. Perhaps there'll be a shift in the situation that shows an existing piece of evidence in a new light.
Let's hope so. To start with, though, I need to find some way out of this deadlock. Hello, talk to me. This isn't the time or the place to be discussing the price of gas, madam.
But really, think of the injustice. Air is a gas and air is free. Why should Altamont gas cost money? It makes my blood boil. I can feel myself becoming more ruthless than ever.
That's just science right there.
This isn't the time or the place to be ruthless either.
If I might interject here.
Yes, madam?
It seems my fellow juror takes issue with the price of our company charges for gas. But it's precisely because of thieves like this man that the cost goes up.
Oh, sure.
Oh, what a beastly man! That unkempt mustache, those hunched shoulders, poisoning tea and stealing gas. Utterly unforgivable.
No. Mr. Natsume isn't the one who's been stealing gas. I'll thank you to not go adding on more crimes.
Mr. Natsume hasn't been poisoning tea either. Well, anyway, I've made up my mind. It's as made up as the price of gas.
You suck. You suck, lady. Let's talk.
This stuff explodes!
Could we please talk about the poison rather than the gas, do you think, sir?
No, because the gas is the thing that did it! And you know it. Well, if you like. I mean, to be honest, I take poison over gas every time.
You'd take poison?
What I mean is, poison can only poison you. It doesn't explode, does it?
Goodness me, what are you talking about? Set him straight, please, lawyer man.
Well, it's certainly true that poison isn't prone to exploding. But I think you'll find poison also can't light or heat up a room.
You're right! I hadn't considered that at all.
Well, I mean, isn't, gas toxic to, inhale and ingest? So
Yeah,
in a
it's-
way, it is
it's
a
poison.
poison.
That's what they say.
Young lawyer man,
Yes?
you have a good head on your shoulders. We could use someone like you at our company's, or as our company's legal representative.
Talk to me
All right,
later.
look, Rinosuke. She sucks, but corporate law pays the bills.
Yeah, no, you don't think I'm gonna go for that? I'm gonna go for that. What? Well, I wasn't expecting to pick up more business in the middle of the trial, that's for sure, but this is good.
Anyway, point is, I had the best experience with gas companies in the past.
That was a fun one. Oh, yes. Hold it. Can we please refrain from all this talk of gas, please?
There's an all-out attack underway here, in case you hadn't noticed, against my company's gas.
All-out attack.
And I'm supposed to just sit here and take it, am I? I don't
Yes.
think so.
She's really buzzing now. Bzz, bzz.
All I've heard about our wonderful fuel is explosions and poisonings. What about electricity? What about getting electrocuted? What about that? A little explosion here and there is nothing in comparison.
Any explosion could hardly be described as nothing, madam. Nevertheless, the theft of your gas is deplorable.
My point exactly. But the gas thieves aren't even the worst of our enemies. We've had far more devious reprobates to contend with on a daily basis, you know.
More devious? Who, madam?
Other gas companies, of course.
Other gas companies? Not quite what I was expecting.
We generate gas and deliver it to our customers fair and square.
Indeed, no one is questioning that, madam. Altamont is an exemplary gas company.
But there are other unscrupulous gas companies here in London that don't even have any gas at all.
What? But if they don't have any gas, how do they go about selling it to people?
You wouldn't think it possible, would you? But they steal our gas, you see, and sell that.
They steal your gas? How on earth is such a thing possible?
Why am I not inclined to believe you?
Gas companies like ours deliver gas to people's homes via a network of pipes. But these devious reprobates secretly disconnect our pipes and divert our gas into their own rotten pipes. They then make a contract with the households supplied by those pipes and take money for the precious gas that's rightfully ours without us even knowing. They're diverting gas into their own pipes illegally. What a brazen form of theft.
They're diverting gas, allegedly.
When we visit customers' houses to collect the money from their meters, we always have to check whether or not one of these devious companies has been up to its tricks.
Oh, what do you have to say? Wow, excuse me.
What is that face?
Do you have something to say about that, juror number 3?
Oh golly, you mean me? I mean, I'm terribly sorry. I was just thinking to myself.
I really did catch him off guard there. Thinking about what the lady next to you was saying, correct?
Well, yes. I just got a little riled up about it recently, you see?
Go on.
An Altman gas worker visited my house the other day to investigate the pipework. We need to ask if you have cooperation while we carry out a secret check on your property, sir, the fellow said. So I let him in. And do you know what he did?
I'm, afraid I have no idea. Please tell us.
He proceeded to take one of my lights off at the wall. Then he grabbed the exposed mouth of the pipe and started blowing into it.
What do you think you're doing, young man? You're giving away company secrets there.
Oh, please, everybody knows. But it was nearly the death of me, I can tell you.
What do you mean?
I'll explain if you don't mind. As I said before, these unscrupulous other gas companies connect their customers to our pipe network.
Yes, but how does blowing into the pipes come into it?
Obviously, there's gas in the pipes, and it's at a fairly low pressure. By blowing air through the pipe, you can make the pressure drop temporarily. And if you do that, any lights connected to the same pipe will flicker for a moment.
I see. In other words, if upon blowing into the pipe the lights have an adjacent property that has no contract with your company Flicker, you can know that those devious scoundrels have been meddling with the pipes.
Exactly, my lord. That's it in a nutshell. It's the reason why we have teams of workers going around neighborhoods to investigate which lights flicker.
The trouble is, the particular worker who came into my house didn't know the strength of his own breath. He blew down the pipe with all his might. You can guess what happened, can't you?
Well, if he blew hard, then... Oh, wait, you mean...
That's right. Kaboom.
Oh.
Oh, the lights didn't just go out. Flickered, they went out, along with the stove. Gas started pouring into the house.
What a disaster.
The gas supply must have been interrupted briefly because the man blew too hard, so the flames went out.
I'm afraid I yelled at the fellow. Are you trying to kill us all, I said?
So by disconnecting a lamp and blowing into the exposed gas pipe, it's possible to extinguish lamps and stoves connected to the same network of pipes. And then when the gas starts flowing again, it just silently seeps into the room.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, this is almost certainly the clue that we've been hoping for. Juror number 3, the defense requests that you amend your statement to include that information.
I knew I was going to be useful. Oh, well, if you like, I don't mind.
Well, I do. That's our company's secret method of
Oh.
identify...
Like I said, madam, it's widely known already. Give it up.
Very well, juror number 3, you will amend your statement accordingly.
Yes, my lord. Although, I'm not really sure what the point of all this is.
That's new.
Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house. And then you're in real trouble.
Let's talk about that. When you say extinguish everything in the house, do you mean even on different floors?
Oh yes. All floors are connected to the same pipe after all.
That's true of every building. Because gas supply contracts are issued for whole properties.
Well, I had no idea it was possible to extinguish gas appliances simply by blowing down the pipe.
It's not something we like to publicize, to be honest. But we have to carry out these investigations, as I'm sure you can appreciate.
Indeed. It has been mentioned on more than one occasion, in the papers even.
Is that so? It's been mentioned to me too, very recently. An incident involving the gas stove going out inexplicably, almost leading to someone's death.
Mr. Naruhodo, I think perhaps...
Yes, it's finally starting to fall into place. The secret link that joins all these strange occurrences. I think we've already read that.
Yeah,
Right.
that's how we got
Yeah.
this new statement.
Your turn. You mean it's poisoned? That's right. It's happened a tidy few times now.
This is most troubling indeed.
It's always days like this one when I don't get any wages. I get in at tea time, see? And I see her doing it, my wife. She gets that devilish look on her face, and she slips some white powder into my cup. And you drink it anyway? I was brought up proper, I was. If someone gives you a cuppa, you drink it. And what happened to you? What did it taste like? It was god awful, believe you me. Salty as hell.
Then, I think perhaps what your wife put in your tea was salt.
No. So she doesn't even care enough to poison me properly, eh? Unbelievable.
Let's move on, please.
Does she think it's sugar?
My guy has been so useless this whole trial.
I love it.
Does that mean that if the victim could be shown to have ingested something else, you'd change your leaning?
Sorry? What's that now?
Oh, I was just saying if the victim did actually eat or drink something else on the night.
What's the matter with you?
Sorry?
I said if nothing else packed the victim licked at that night, then there's no other explanation, right? even listen to me at all.
I feel there's an English expression about a pot and a kettle that's appropriate here.
Compared to the other jurors who don't even appear to have anything to say about the case at all, it would seem that this elderly gentleman has been listening to the proceedings far more intently.
I suppose. The trouble is...
He has selective hearing?
My boy.
Exactly, but still. This germ may well be the key to the breakthrough that we so desperately need.
Yeah.
This is hopeless. There's no way for me to appeal to these people.
I do think that the only way we shall overcome this difficult situation is by exposing the way in which Mr. Shamsphere was really poisoned. We have to prove that it happened in some other way, and not via Mr. Natsume's tea.
Yes, I know. The trouble is, I have absolutely no idea how it did happen.
Mr. Naruhodo, I wonder if perhaps there's something you might have forgotten.
Oh, like what?
It's important to watch everyone involved and pursue people if they react to something someone says.
No, we remember that.
We did do that.
We
Yep.
got that.
Yeah.
We're good.
If you'd like me to remind you exactly what I mean, I'd be more than happy to, of course.
Once again, Saseki-san's fate is entirely in my hands here. I probably owe it to my client to hear any advice my assistant may be able to offer. So perhaps I ought to let Susato-san remind me. Then again, no need,
No
Susato.
need.
Thank you.
No need.
Yeah, that's
Actually-
just a tutorial in case you forgot about it.
I don't think there's
Oh.
any need. It's vital that we start trying to change these jurors' minds as soon as possible.
Of course. I'm sure you're right. But if you decide you would like your memory refreshed, you need only ask, Mr. Naruhodo.
Okay.
I think the old man gave us a big hint, too.
Let's see what the old man had to say. Come on. Oh no! I pressed the button one too many
Do you
times,
need a
Miss
refresher,
Susato.
Mr.
Miss
Naruhodo?
Susato, I do not need a refresher. I am
Are you
proud to say.
sure?
I'm so proud to say I do not need a refresher, but thank you, Miss Susato.
Okay, if
Thank
you're
you.
sure.
Thank you so much.
Because the old man was very clear. I didn't say eat or drink. I said past his lips.
Nothing else passed the victim's lips that night. There's no other explanation, is there? Do you want me to pit this against somebody we already have?
3.
Man of 3? Blow too hard into a gas pipe and you extinguish everything in the house, then you're real trouble. Are you...
Could have breathed in the poison, is what I'm thinking.
Sure.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Is it too big of a stretch, though?
I think that's too big of a stretch.
Gas doesn't
Well-
come for free.
What I think is like, if someone did that, would Gas be sleeping into his apartment then?
Yeah, but... I mean, I guess you could try it.
Sure, here you go. Oh, that sounds good. Those two
Okay.
statements clearly contradict each other, kinda.
Consent.
Good gracious! To whose statements do you refer, counsel?
Juror number 6, did you hear what juror number 3 just said?
What? Yes, of course. I heard him mumbling about something.
There is another explanation here, I believe. Something besides Mr. Natsume's tea did, in a matter of speaking, pass the victim's lips on the night in question.
What? What explanation?
I wonder, did the police check the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the wall light at the scene? To see if there were any traces of poison there?
I was curious to see what your floundering would result into this time. But the mouth of a gas pipe. Scotland Yard have enough to do without exploring such irrelevance.
Hmm? Oh.
Hold it. What a piece of work is a man.
What are you trying to say, Mr. Shakespeare?
What speakest thou, prithee? Is it not strange and strange? That is what I say to thee, sir.
I thought I'd been quite clear, but let me put it another way. The strychnine could have been on the mouth of the gas pipe that feeds the wall lamp in your room. And that is how the poison came to enter your body.
Good lord!
Oh, they tasty them gas pipes. Is that what you're saying?
Or is the gentleman suggesting that the poor man was so desperately hungry, he tried to fill his belly with gas? Perhaps no actress would perform a kiss scene with him,
For shame, madam, speaking thy fancy. I assure you, I'm not such a buffoon that I have to kiss pipes.
Ha! This is no summation examination. This is a farce.
Yeah, you're right.
The prosecution will not stand for any more of my learned Nipponese friend's conjecture.
But
To begin with, the lamp in the victim's room is high on the wall. In order to have placed his lips on the pipe that feeds it, he would have to be a contortionist.
Oh no, you just need a stepladder.
Ha! These are empty assertions. There's no possible proof that the man did as you say.
Another
Objection.
one.
it's true, I have no proof that Mr. Shakespeare put his lips to the pipe. However, I can say with some certainty that on multiple occasions, Mr. Shakespeare has been doing something in front of that lamp on his wall. Huh. And I have evidence to prove it.
All right, you've got our attention, lad. I'd like to see how you can be so sure of yourself.
So would I. Let's see this evidence then.
Now that I've got the jury's ear, I need to make this opportunity count. Huh. This is the proof that time and time again, Mr. Shakespeare stood in front of his gas lamp. We have a picture that would help, right? It's gotta be this,
Yeah,
right?
that one.
Oh, that makes sense. All right, there you go. Take that.
What the?
These are, wait, what are they called? Yes, skin prints that were found at the scene.
Skin Prints Council? I've never heard of such a thing. The Justice Ministry is currently assessing whether or not to permit fingerprints in evidence of court. However,
My lord, this is an exciting new forensic technique developed by the great detective Mr. Herlock Sholmes.
Oh no.
It reveals all of the places that Mr. Shakespeare touched in his room.
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, it's black magic, innit?
well, if anyone could invent something like this, it's that great Sherlock Holmes fellow, Michelle.
I agree. This month's edition of Engineering Thumbs was quite fascinating.
We found skin prints in many places that you would expect. On the table, on the costumes. However, Mr. Shakespeare also appears to have been touching some very unexpected places in his room. For example, here. Judgy? J-Boy?
Oh.
Yeah.
Around the hanging picture there, indeed, multiple handprints appear to be visible.
Well, I wonder. Could he have been appreciating the artwork, perhaps?
At first, my colleagues and I thought the same. However, imagine standing with your hands where those prints are, and you would find yourself directly in front of...
In front of?
I don't believe it.
the gas lamp.
Gas lamp!
Yeah. Whose line was that? Who knows?
I have no
The-
idea.
Though the reason why it isn't immediately obvious, it's clear to that Mr. Shakespeare has regularly been standing with his hands to the wall in front of that lamp. Roy, what have you been up to, you nut? I'd ask the court to recall juror number 4's earlier statement.
I know.
Me? What did I say?
You said that blowing into a gas pipe would make the lights in the entire building flicker. And now, if you'll recall juror number 3's statement...
What? Me now?
When the gas worker who visited his home blew with too much force into the pipe, it caused all the lights and the gas stove to go out and gas to start leaking into the rooms. Obviously, that incident was an accident. However, the simple fact is, if Mr. Shamspeare were to have blown hard into the gas pipe here in his room, he could have extinguished every other light and gas stove in the building at will. Wemter? Crikey!
Are you suggesting that the man purposely caused the gas to...
Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Crikey.
Crikey.
There you go.
This is a knife.
Whilst I acknowledge that the prosecution is required to remain silent during a summation examination, I must toast my learned friend's utter disregard for the letter of the law.
What is the meaning of this, Lord Van Zeeks?
This curious photograph, or whatever it is, presented by the defense, these so-called skin prints, clearly cannot be accepted as any form of usable evidence in this case.
But it's an exciting new forensic technique developed by a great detective.
It's nothing. Ow! A mere toy developed by an amateur sleuth with too much time on his hands.
Ah.
Certainly, even research by this nature, or of this nature by the esteemed Mr. Sholmes, cannot be recognized by the court as formal evidence. Just like the gas gun.
Please, my lord, if I may.
Mr. Sato?
It was not the defense's intention to submit the skin prints as formal evidence. We merely wish to present the results of the great detective's investigation of the same as a tool by which to examine the possibility to the ladies and gentlemen of the jury.
Explain.
And if the trial were to come to an end now, we should never learn the truth behind these mysterious fingerprints that everyone has now seen. I don't believe we can allow that to happen, and I'm sure the jurors would agree.
You're right! Whether those strange handprints are a significant clue or not, it's down for us to decide.
Juror number 3.
Oh, yes, I do declare that the great detective's investigation results are absolutely fascinating. And I want to hear what that shady fellow actor fellow, has to say about those shady handprints.
Oh, a fellow actor, are you?
No.
No.
Great.
No.
What's the matter with you two? That was foolhardy.
Well, I did say, didn't I?
Oh,
And I don't like to break a promise.
No, wait, you heard his lordship. It's
Oh.
not offending him all.
Whee!
no listening.
Oh, well done, Mr. Naruhodo. If just one more juror changes his or her mind, Mr. Natsume's trial will have to continue.
Thank you, Mr. Sato, but I couldn't have done it without you.
Oh no, it was you who identified the clue after all. This is very much your success.
Why, Mr. Shamspeare, you seem to be losing your composure.
Just one more juror, Mr. Naruhodo. You can do it.
Very well, continue, counsel.
So there's more.
You don't know that.
But wait, there's more.
more. Very much interested in the results of this great day.
Oh yeah, that's new.
Oh,
Yeah,
kinda grayed
okay.
out.
Oh, but I can't press it.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
Yeah, sort of great, like darkened out.
That's
Yeah.
helpful. We're the
We want to decide whether the evidence is worth the consideration, not the jury, or not.
Good-
the
good line.
jury. Yes.
good line. Gas doesn't come for free. It costs a fortune delivered around the pipe. Can I? I only have
I just didn't.
I only have
Oh
3
yeah,
options.
you only have 2 people.
No, well, 3 people,
So-
including her.
Oh,
Truth be
gotcha.
told, the team is sketchy. Gas doesn't come free. No. No.
Yeah, I feel like number 5 is more comic relief.
So are we suggesting to pit these two?
We should maybe talk more.
I don't think there's much more to talk about.
Because I don't think those two contradict though.
I don't think any of them contradict. Let's try talking to you one more time.
Yeah, because the main thing is we did interrupt her testimony from.
We-
That
guy.
did happen.
She never finished speaking. That's
But
right.
that's never been a problem before. Is this going to be the first time that that's a problem?
Yeah.
What about getting
They press again to see if they have something new to say. No, we tried that.
Yeah, that's the first thing we tried.
any explosion? I'm trying to find the point where we stopped. Guessing.
I guess there are other companies.
Yeah, the other companies. Code is expecting generate gas. Nobody's questioning that. There are other unscrupulous gas companies. What? I don't think. I didn't think it's possible. They steal our gas and sell that.
I think this is the point.
Okay.
Maybe. By a network of pipes. Maybe not. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Right. She said it was a series of tubes.
Yeah.
Hey,
Thank,
thank you for the follow, Yuna Sakura.
thank
You
you.
missed that one.
And take money for precious gas that's rightly ours, even without us knowing. Yep. Okay. We already read all these things. I want to check. I had no idea. It's almost unbelievable. I think this is new.
It might seem unbelievable to you, but it's happening all the time, right here in the capital. It's very difficult selling something you can't see, you know. Very difficult indeed.
Thank you, that will do.
Oh,
Oh,
Clearly, this is a very involved subject, but I feel like we have discussed rather too much already.
I concur. Though my learned friend wishes to become an expert in gas, I believe the subject will suit him well. To your new career in nothingness.
thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Ah, damn it.
You will turn your attention to the next juror's assertion, please, counsel.
Damn it. That was worth checking,
Nothing.
though. That was worth checking.
Yeah.
Truth be told. But does that imply that one of these does? What? Truth be told, but the tea that my wife serves up for me is a little sketchy at time. Gas doesn't come for
I
free.
don't think number 5's statement
Yeah.
is relevant at all.
The thing about salt is I think it was just comic relief.
Okay, well then, do you believe that
Well-
pitting these two together is the way to go?
Well, we could also get actually Admiral Susato's wording on this, or opinion.
You
Talk
mean?
to Susato?
But why?
Yeah, why?
Doesn't she
Maybe
just
her is
tutorialize us on...
Maybe she changed her leaning now that the tutorial is no more.
It's a tutorial, isn't it?
I'll go to the end, sure. Okay. So, but there's no way for me to appeal. Let's prove it happened. Yes, I know. Troubles, I know that did happen.
Yeah,
It
this
is
seems
something.
the same.
Okay, it's the same.
Once again. Okay, do we
No
want...
need.
No need. Okay, cool.
No need.
Alright, thank you, Mrs.
Yeah.
Otto.
Maybe press juror number 1 again.
Okay. All the evidence you say, that sounds familiar. That's right, there's no way.
That's right, everyone's for doubt. Big
Yep.
mustache.
Yep. We've read this bit.
It's also called skin prints.
Yeah, this is all new. This is all new. This is
This
all
is
new.
all-
This is all
This is
new.
all new. This is all new.
This is all new?
Yeah,
Yes!
as soon as the skin prints, it was all new. Right after the mustache.
Yeah.
Yeah, as soon as we finished the thing with the mustache, it was all new, and you just
Oh.
kept going.
Yeah, because it didn't look new to me. Alright, you're up.
Oh, it was all new. So what, your so-called skin prints?
It's an exciting new forensic investigation technique developed by the great detective himself.
The numerous handprints on the wall are clearly out of the ordinary, and if Mr. Shamspear had indeed put his mouth to the gas pipe on the night in question, it can't be denied that there's a possibility that's where the poison was.
Well, yes, I won't deny that it's playing on my mind. But as the prosecution rightly says, we should pay no heed to unacceptable forms of evidence. And besides,
Yes?
even if the fellow has been up to some mischief with the gas pipe dozens of times before, it doesn't mean he got up to the same shenanigans on the night in question, does it?
Oh.
If you can't make your case better than that, I'm afraid I can't change my stance.
You do make a very valid point, sir.
What? No.
Oh.
That's true. Perhaps I was a little hasty.
No, wait.
Look, you've got your chance here, haven't you? So it's time to prove your theory. If you and your Japanese cohorts can, that is.
Just leave our nationality out of this, please.
Mr. Naruhodo, if we can't substantiate our position, I'm afraid the jurors that change their minds may very well change them back.
What can I do? Is there any more proof I can give here? Can I show that Mr. Shamspear really did blow down the gas pipe on the night in question? I can't prove it. I can present evidence. I have supporting testimony.
What do we have?
On the night in question. I don't think I have any evidence about that.
Well, we should, shouldn't we?
What would you present
feel
then,
like the-
Saps? Right?
Like, what was the thing we were trying to prove again?
That he put his mouth on the pipe.
Didn't the it flicker in Garadub's lodgings?
Yeah, the only thing I can think of is Garadeb. But I
Oh,
don't know if we
maybe.
have that in evidence.
I think that
No,
would be
that's not
testimony.
evidence, that's testimony.
That would be testimony. I'm gonna pick that. I'm gonna pick that.
Oh, that's right. Garadeb testified right at the beginning, didn't he?
No, in truth, I don't have evidence to support my theory. However, there is witness testimony that substantiates it.
What's that? Testimony?
This is incredible. Whose testimony?
Yes.
Yeah, we haven't had Garadub on the stand in this case.
It's all connected. Everything is linked. A person
We
whose testimony reveals details about the gas in the Garadub residence that night. Namely, it's you. Take that.
Oh, so we'd be calling him up.
Right.
Yes.
Well, Mr. Foreman, does that
No.
convince you?
What?
He hasn't been on the stand in this case. He hasn't testified.
Whew.
Oh.
I don't think he was listening.
Oof.
J-boy.
Mr.
Becker?
Lord Counsel, I shan't let much nonsensical answers go without penalty. The
Ah,
meat whacker is coming and going. I apologize.
it's alright. I thought I'd gotten away with it.
A witness who spoke about gas on the night in question. Yes, there was someone.
Alterman?
Soseki?
Oh.
That's what I thought too, but I obviously chose the wrong person. Okay. Obviously.
Maybe it would have been Soseki. Didn't he mention that he felt like he was suffocating?
Oh, yeah!
Oh, yeah.
That might be it, yeah.
Now we can skip past.
Okay. Yeah, because all the pilot lights went out.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a hell of a press. Okay. Okay. I have supporting testimony. So we're saying to pick Soseki.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Soseki-san, you're up. Yeah.
Yeah, music stopped!
Obviously, I'm talking about the defendant, Mr. Soseki Natsume himself.
The defendant?
At the very beginning of the proceedings here in court yesterday, Mr. Natsume said the following.
My logics! There've been a whole series of shit happening to my logics! Even on that fateful night it happened, I returned from Mr. Shamspear's room. I lit my gas stove and climbed into bed, but before long, the stove went out and somebody tried to kill me!
I just figured out the motive too.
On the night in question, the gas in the defendant's room went out. So I asked the court, was that a mere coincidence or not?
Good golly!
So that Chancellor fellow blew air into the gas pipe to make the man's stove go out on purpose.
Now hold your horses there. Why would he do that for? Mr. Foreman,
What is it, ma'am?
we cannot allow judgment to be passed whilst this doubt remains. It's true that I don't have conclusive evidence yet. However, you must surely agree there is more to this case than meets the eye.
Ah. Fair enough. Like I said at the outset, I'm a man of logic, first and foremost.
Yay.
Yay!
That's 4 jurors leaning towards not guilty, my lord. We've overturned the decision. Therefore, the defense calls for the trial to continue.
As the defense has rightfully indicated, the summation examination has concluded with a majority of jurors altering their decisions again.
Again.
2 jury members now called guilty, and 4 now not guilty. Therefore, the juror's opinion is conflicted, and in accordance with the law of the land, I hereby order the continuation of this trial.
Delay
of my snack. Mr. William Shamspeare.
My lord, how can thy humble Shamspeare serve thee?
What say you in response to the various revelations made during the summation examination?
So God mend me, I do solemnly swear, I recall aught of either the lamp or the pipe.
But your handprints have made a tidy mess all over the wall there. How do you explain that, eh?
Jeez. I am done with this. The dignity of this great courtroom has been solid enough already. Juror number 5.
Who, me?
As I went to some pains to point out already, a print from self-possessed detective's toy has no place in British court of law. Fencing throws things so fast, I didn't have time to find any proper voice thing for it.
Yep.
So you push the 8 button?
It's just 8. I knew what button it was.
Oh, I heard cheese. I was like, why did he say cheese?
No, he said
You
8.
heard cheese out of that?
I heard cheese, yes.
You should eat some cheese.
8.
Okay, we should not.
No, I'm just trying to hear it myself.
Oh. As such, whether or not this man did indeed stand before the gas lamp with his hands against the wall remains at this time an established conjecture. You would all do well to remember that.
Objection. But the prosecution must concede that it would be extremely simple to verify. Just order the mouth of the gas pipe feeding the lamp in Mr. Shamspeare's room to be examined. If there are traces of poison there...
What appears to be extremely simple is my Nipponese's friend's mind. You will recall that in order to check for the presence of poison in the tea, some remnants of tea were required.
Yes.
Therefore, it shouldn't be beyond your wit to imagine that even if poison were to have been spread on the pipe, it would have completely evaporated by now, making any analysis impossible.
I didn't think of that.
In any case, counsel, I fail to see what could possibly have motivated the man to do as you describe.
Celia.
Why on earth would this fellow have wanted to blow air into the gas pipe where he lived?
There's only one possibility that I can think of. And that is to use the leaking gas to commit murder. Wow.
Moira.
Hell of a jump.
Moida!
Moida?
Order,
But that's
order.
illegal.
People
You
can't
can't do that.
that.
Precisely whose life do you propose this man was plotting to end?
The answer couldn't be simpler. Now we've unraveled the mystery this far. Mr. Shamsphere wanted to end the life of Soseki Natsume, I guess. Take that.
He wants to get to the logic for the treasure.
Yeah, he
If
wants to get. He wanted that
Oh.
room.
Yeah. If a gas lamp were to go out, it would be noticed immediately, of course. But a gas stove, on the other hand, could be silently extinguished by the killer without anyone noticing. I live around those parts myself, so I know what it's like. I can tell you, trying to sleep without the stove lid is pretty much suicide. You'd freeze to death in no time. Mr. Garadeb, the landlord, has a large fireplace in his part of the residence on the top floor. In other words, it wasn't the landlord, but a fellow lodger whose life Mr. Shamsphere was trying to end.
Outrageous!
I'm talking, of course, about the defendant. Mr. Natsume isn't the villain in this case. He's the victim this man was trying to murder.
Good gracious!
Objection.
The accused is actually the aggrieved. Interesting. However, the fundamental facts of the case remains unchanged. Namely, that the accused is the aggressor here.
What? How can you still claim that?
I started thinking about something. I wonder if it's not the gas.
Huh?
Like,
Oh yeah?
the reason why Susaru's dad got really concerned was because of the poison that Soseki mentioned in this trial that was classified. This case here is classified for some reason, and we don't know why.
Okay.
So something suspects me it's not gas, but something else. But why?
I don't know.
But who?
Let us indulge your fancies for a moment and assume that there was indeed poison on the mouth of the gas pipe. The question that then arises is who put it there?
Who did put it there?
Don't kitty face me! That's my thing!
Meow meow.
The only logical conclusion is that
Taste
the person
your own
responsible
poison, saps.
No! Was aware of this man's trickery with the gas supply and his intent to kill.
Yes, that would indeed seem logical. If the assailant were unaware, how would he or she have known to lace the end of the pipe with poison?
So we must now ask, how could anyone have known Mr. Shamspeare's murderous designs?
You mean to suggest?
Naturally, the sole possible answer to that question couldn't be more obvious. Only the man whose life was being threatened could possibly have known.
What?
In other words, the person who put the poison in the gas pipe is what was a clear retaliatory attack. Can only have been the accused, Mrs. Soseki Natsume.
Ah!
Well, I'm convinced.
You were never unconvinced! Whatever Mr. William Shafter may have or may not have contrived to do, he was nevertheless the victim of a potentially lethal poison attack. And the only person who could possibly have perpetrated that attack is the accused, Mr. Natsume. Let me lean in. The defense's counsel theorizing has failed to avert suspicion from the accused. Far from it. In fact, now that a clear motive for the poisoning has been successfully established, that suspicion is greater than ever. Would you not agree, my Nipponese friend?
No!
Your words deceive you, but your actions speak louder.
How did he manage to turn that around on me so rapidly?
Hello,
Mr.
can't deny the
Naruhodo.
thighs.
Hello.
Can't deny the thighs. That's a good username.
Love it.
Mr. Naruhodo, you must respond. Otherwise, the members of the jury may very well change their leanings against us. Again. And this may be our last chance to gain the advantage.
What
Was it the gas
advantage?
man?
The gas man.
He sucks all the gas out of the pipe.
Well, it would seem that somebody put poison on the gas pipe in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So we must name the person now and absolve Mr. Natsume of guilt.
You mean name the true culprit?
I know it might sound impossible, but if we fail to do that, I have no doubt that Mr. Natsume's fate will be sealed once and for all.
As it happens, one possible culprit does come to mind. The evidence, the poison, it's all pointing to a particular person now.
The prosecution calls for the jury to consider their leanings again. I trust you'll make the correct choice this time, Mr. Foreman.
Objection.
What? I completely
Objection.
missed that entire line.
There's one other person who I believe could have been involved in all this. The true culprit of this crime.
The true culprit.
A term only in second-rate novels featuring third-rate great detectives. My Nipponese friend. But why not? This farce has gone on for so long already. I see no reason to cut it short. Oh god. Doing that voice for a prolonged period of time makes me yawn.
Get some
I
sleep.
see no reason to cut it short before its disappointing climax. It's more getting out of breath and not breathing in that makes me yawn.
Right.
Thank
Very
you.
breathy. It's the parrot.
Tell us, my learned Nipponese friend, what is your latest theory? Who is the so-called true culprit of this crime?
Huh.
Do you think it's Meterman?
Meterman or...
Possible.
Meterman or Shamspeare, either of those two, but
Shamspeare?
Why would Shamspeare
Well-
put poison on his own? Why that would...
Right.
yeah, you're right. There. Nah, I think it's Meterman then.
It's the Steel Samurai.
I'll pick Meterman. Sure. Go. Take that.
Don't think it was actually him.
You claim this person is the true culprit.
Highly suspicious, I would say. Yes. I think it's Garadeb for some reason.
Perhaps, my learned Nipponese friend, you should turn those wide eyes of suspicion on yourself.
What?
For it seems to me that your reckless reasoning makes you far more than anyone else you could name. A very dangerous man indeed.
Ah,
Mr. Naruhodo, please, you must concentrate.
I was trying to.
And you must concentrate harder.
Harsh. Who's the so-called culprit?
Maybe
Can
save?
I? Yeah, let's have a save.
Yeah.
Let's have a save. I'm gonna pick Garadeb.
Forsooth, I shall put poison on this pipe and then stick my own mouth on it. Oh!
Take that. Huh?
It couldn't have been Olive.
Huh?
Point!
You can't just point. Huh?
big
Why
chippy
would it have been
gas
Duncan?
No, not
'Cause-
Duncan Ross, right?
I mean, dude's
Good.
dead.
Well, the thing that makes me think Olive is that her fiance died in the same way that he's currently trying to kill Saseki.
And she
I
was
mean,
like-
I guess give it a try.
It's not really jumping ahead to say,
what?
Wow.
oh,
The name of the person
What?
responsible for the poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspeare is, I believe, Miss Olive Green. This is completely out of nowhere.
Why?
This is such a
How?
leap.
Nobody
I
had
don't
any idea.
understand this
Because
logic.
like you'd have to think, oh, the way he's trying to kill Saseki means that he definitely killed Olive's fiance, whatever his name was.
Duncan.
Duncan Ross.
Duncan Ross. Okay, that's not a paint. So then you would have to think maybe she wanted revenge somehow.
His last
I
name
don't
is
know.
Ross, so Bob Ross.
Oh,
that's
shit.
the only thing I can think
Oh.
of.
Robert Ross.
Miss
Well,
Olive Green. Miss Olive Green. I do feel as though I've heard that name before in recent past, Council, but I don't recall where.
Bad time to step away for food. Miss Olive Green, the woman from 6 days ago. The victim in a recent case of stabbing on Briars Road. An incident in which Mr. Natsume was arrested, I hasten to add. You should have seen the U-turn I did as soon as I saw Man Seeks show up.
Oh, of course, yes. Oh, Miss Green. She was left comatose for some 3 days, I do believe. But I hear she regained consciousness 2 days ago.
And I hardly need to remind the court that Mrs. Shamspeare's poisoning took place 3 days ago. Given that the woman was lying comatose in a hospital bed at the time, she appears to have a rather fine alibi.
True, on the night that the incident occurred, Miss Green was in the hospital unconscious. So on the face of it, it would seem that she couldn't possibly be responsible, but still.
Yeah.
My colleagues and I visited Miss Green in hospital yesterday, and we found her to be in possession of a bottle of poison.
Good gracious, she had poison?
And there is another fact that links Miss Green to this case as well. The defense requests that she be brought to the witness stand in order to explain the details to the court.
Tell me, Mr. Shamspeare.
my lord, pray what be thy bidding?
Are you acquainted with Miss Green?
No, never heard of her.
Okay, I go get her.
Judging by the look on Mr. Shamspeare's face, I think perhaps he genuinely doesn't know her. At least, not by name.
As the voice of Her Majesty's prosecution here, I adhere to my word. We will see my learned Nipponese friend's farce through to its conclusion.
I appreciate that.
No, you won't.
Yes, you will. The prosecution requests a short recess, my lord, in order to subpoena the witness and bring her here. Are you ready for it to be continued?
Oh,
Yes, Miss Olive Green.
Indeed, my lord. 1 hour should be sufficient.
Uh-huh. Very well, I grant the request.
excellent. I hope.
The defense has made a most extraordinary accusation, I must say. But at the present time, I feel the prosecution's argument remains largely uncontested. Accordingly, I'm afraid the defendant and his culpability remain the sole subject of this court's attention. Thank you, counsels. We will reconvene in 1 hour. Court is adjourned.
Okay.
To be continued.
Could it be? To be continued? Yes. Yes, it could.
TBC.
To be continued.
I mean, that I don't think we're ending the stream tonight with there's a to be continued.
No,
right
I
here.
guess not. This is a long one, huh? For
What is
Yeah.
trial on
for
me?
trial 2.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to tell.
23rd of February. What?
Joyful jubilant jumping jacks!
Oh, Mr. Natsume, I'm so pleased for you.
Locked-up student Mr. Naruhodo Esquire, and non-locked-up judicial assistant Miss Mikotoba Esquiress. Now, finally, at long last, there can be proof!
I like how it takes an entire dialogue box for him to say our names to us.
Oh, I know. Proof that the incident, and proof that my tea is innocent. Snap! Good morning, my dear fellows. It is my moment. Ah! Harlock Sholmes!
I was waiting for him to react.
May you drink my tepid tea and fall silent forever.
I thought the tea was innocent.
Oh, Mr. Sholmes, you came. How wonderful.
Oh.
Please save your derision. I know what you're all thinking. Good morning, he says. Why, it's very nearly time for luncheon. Your scorn is written clearly across your faces.
Nobody said or thought anything of the sort.
The truth is, I was determined that today would be the day. As sleep seduced me last night, I thought, tomorrow for once, I shall not oversleep. I will rise early and be present in court to support my companions. Therefore, I set 10 alarms for the next day.
That sounds
Such
familiar.
spirited determination has a beauty all its own, does it not?
Oh, yes.
And then I began to muse on the subject. Why do people oversleep? I queried. Why, time after time, do they make such foolish blunder? And the answer came to me at once. It's so delightfully simple. People oversleep because they sleep. Well, is there an astute insight into the matter?
Oh, yes.
Upon such realization, I attempted an experiment. I didn't sleep a week last night. And the results? By first light, I was exhausted and began to be assailed by fits of drowsiness.
Shocking.
Harlock, you're a bad friend.
And so, the conclusion of such an experiment is this. A good night's sleep is quite simply essential.
Yes, I think most of us probably knew that already.
What others presuppose, I prove by experimentation. That, my dear fellow, is the scientific method. Ah, yes, and one more thing. Do you remember this?
Yes, of course. It's the poison that Miss Green was about to drink at the hospital yesterday. Oh, you didn't manage to...
It was a laborious task, as the bottle was nearly empty. But such inconveniences do not hinder Sholmes. I managed to confirm that it was called, or it contained, strychnine.
Strychnine.
So I was right.
Whoa!
Perhaps, though, through some circumstantial evidence, doesn't prove Miss Green's guilt. I shall leave the bottle in your care now. By licking the inside of its neck. But licking inside of its neck is not recommended.
Okay,
Phoenix.
thank you.
Phoenix.
Miss Green?
Could I have a word?
Oh,
Oh.
what?
Not
Weird.
at all.
Could I roll?
Jonesy?
Sholmes.
Gregson, how good of you to come.
Get your finger out of my face before I... Forget it. Excuse me.
Wait a minute, Inspector.
Oh. I don't wish to make a nuisance of myself. I just needed to grab my fish chips.
From from the look on your face, I'd say it's someone else who you think is making a nuisance of himself. There's a guy who has a fish and chip stand right off to the side. We can't see them.
The stand is there specifically because of Gregson.
Most loyal customer.
My dear Inspector, please speak freely. Pretend that I am not here.
Believe me, if I could do that, life would be a whole lot simpler for me.
Do you have the results, Inspector, of the investigation of Mr. Shakespeare's room?
Oh, yeah, shouldn't be long now, though. Now I'm here about something else. That dead convict, actually.
Oh, you mean the man from this newspaper article we discovered yesterday in Mr. Shakespeare's room?
A man by the name of... Ah, yes, Selden.
I went through the archives at the yard and dug out the fellow's file. There's something in there that, well, it caught my eye.
Something caught your eye? What, Inspector, what?
I've copied out the relevant parts for you, so you can read it for yourselves.
Thank you. Okay, we got that.
These documents.
Indeed, these documents. Scotland Yard's file about the convicted criminal Selden that includes the newspaper article about him dying of illness in prison. 18 counts of burglary, 6 counts of suspected murder, died of natural causes whilst in prison, his final moments witnessed only by his cellmate. The estimated £1,000 worth of loot he stole remains unrecovered. Okay. Manchester Strangeways prisons announced the death of convicted murderer and burglar Selden in natural causes in the early hours this morning. He had been suffered with fever since the end of October. Alerted by the shouts of his fellow crewmate, medical staff arrived to find him already dead before his capital punishment could be carried out. Okay. Alright.
Include the details that were in the newspaper cutting that we found in Mr. Shakespeare's room. I'll rearrange everything in the court record so we don't have to have duplicate information.
Okay. Why are you giving us a copy of this important file, though?
Well, you're the ones who turned up the clue in the first place, aren't you? I'm just making sure things get handled in the proper fashion.
Oh, Scotland Yard's workings are so wonderful.
Indeed, my dear fellows, and the inspector here is a shining diamond in its crown.
Shining diamond in the rough, maybe.
Look, I just don't want to be beholden to a lawyer, that's all.
Alright.
Counsel of the defense and the defendant! Court proceedings are about to resume. Make your way to the courtroom at once.
It wins.
It rings.
Well, I shall leave you then. I'll be listening with interest in the public galley. Not nodding off at all. Certainly not.
Thank you, Mr. Sholmes.
I'm rather tired of seeing Mr. Mustache in floods of tears, personally. So, best of luck to you. Rather tired. Luck comes to Mr. Naruhodo, Esquire!
Yes, Mr. Nutsbag?
It's time, isn't it?
Yes. This is it. Miss Olive Green and Mr. William Shakespeare. This is going to be the final battle. Alright. I won't really have saved Soseki-san until I've exposed the whole truth of everything that's been going on. But it's all coming to a head now. You can do it, Ryunosuke. You have to. Okay. I will. Right now. It's February.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session again now. Before the recess, we heard the most startling accusation from the defense. Namely, that the victim in the case we heard here only a few days ago is the true perpetrator of this incident.
A reckless, rash, and prejudiced charge of wrongdoing, in my opinion, my lord. However,
Prejudiced.
You know nothing about that, do you?
excuse me, who's the Englishman here?
You sure
You.
learned it.
The prosecution has tried to extend every courtesy to this amateur newcomer from dubious eastern shores.
Thank you, I think, for that backhanded consideration.
A rather cold assessment from the Honorable British Prosecutor, I must say. So, Lord Van...
Mm-hmm.
I lost it.
Mm-hmm.
It's gone now.
Uh-oh.
In the
Find
new
it,
witness
my lord.
presence,
No,
you
my
know
lord.
You know who you are, and
I
ready
want to
take the
hear it
stand.
from
You
your
would know-
mouth.
This is my
Come on,
courtroom,
Jay.
Majesty.
You should know his name.
I even said it before. I triple
You haven't
guessed
said it
myself.
wrong
Could
in
you
like
say
3
it
streams, I don't
again?
think.
Could you say it again, my lord?
Zook.
That is correct, actually.
That's on purpose, I know it, my lord. Ready and waiting for the in the witness's antechamber, my lead.
We doing all right?
No.
You started it.
I did not.
You did not.
Actually, it's pronounced Van Zeke.
Six. Okay. Very well, Buffalo, bring the witnesses in.
You had to get it from that, didn't you?
Barrel Van
Oh,
Zuki.
she's painting.
Witnesses, state your names and occupation to the court, please.
William Shakespeare, my liege. For mine occupation, I can say only
Oh,
that I be a tragic victim to be pitied.
hold on. Before we continue, I know how this is gonna end with the freakouts.
Huh?
Green is gonna smash the painting over Shamspear's face, and it's gonna portray him like an ass or something.
Haha.
Yes. I mean, oh no.
Currently unemployed, in other words.
I'm Olive Green. I'm a fledgling artist. Well, no. Not a fledgling, really. A hopeless failure who's too weak-spirited to admit that she has no talent, I suppose.
Falling in my skin.
Also currently unemployed, in other words.
What a coterie. A coterie. A coterie. A coterie. It's a coterie. Yep.
Mr. Shamspeare.
My lord, I am thy humble servant.
I am afraid that you are no longer merely the victim in this affair. The possibility has been raised that you are in fact the assailant, intent on taking the life of your fellow lodger. The part you have played in this whole business will be thoroughly scrutinized, I assure you.
I would for naught else, my lord.
And Miss Green,
Yes?
you're aware of the reason you've been summoned to this courtroom today, I presume?
Yes. The officer did explain. He said that I poisoned this ridiculous buffoon.
And do you accept the charge, Miss Green?
I don't know anything about any poisoning. And I don't know anything about this man.
Come, lady, die to live. Verily, I know not thy prickly, pigmented personage.
Oh, fuck.
Very well, let us proceed with the matter at hand.
What is it, Jay?
theory popped in my brain. Sorry.
Mm.
Uh-oh.
I like theories.
What's your theory?
Okay. Well, it's a half-assed theory because I can't
That's
quite remember
allowed.
the details. Okay. There's supposed to be some missing prisoner,
Treasure?
right?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Hmm.
Could it be Shamspear?
That's entirely possible, but I don't know.
I can't remember the details.
Because Shamspear is not this man's real name.
Oh, well,
True.
yeah, definitely
True.
not.
He's wearing a wig and like a disguise.
Anyway, that being asked to ascertain whether or not Miss Green has any involvement in this affair.
It's all very strange. Very strange indeed. Why would you suspect me? I barely ever go to the East End anyway. It so happens that I passed by that neighborhood 6 days ago, that's all. And on that night, this man was poisoned. I was still in the hospital fighting for my life.
Yes, having unfortunately caught up in the incident on the street outside of Garendam household. An incident that rendered you unconscious for some 3 days.
That pose.
I was struck in the middle of my back by a knife, through no fault of my own, and now I'm under suspicion. What other irrelevant things might I be suspected of? It's all very disturbing.
Your energies may be better spent worrying about the random knife attacks I feel, Miss Green.
At this point in time, all that appears to connect you with Mr. Shamspeare's lodgings is the Briar Road incident of 6 days ago. That's why we would like you to testify formally now about exactly what happened.
Oh no! The incident 6 days ago? You mean you want me to relive that awful accident?
Unfortunately, yes. Please tell the court what happened that day. And of course, we will be interested to hear from you about your movements that day too, Mr. Shamspeare.
But what happened 6 days ago has nothing to do with me being poisoned.
Let us proceed then. The witnesses will present their formal testimony to the court. And on the subject of the incident that took place on Briar Road, the evening of the 17th of February.
It is February.
It was 6 days ago, at about 5 p.m. I was walking along in the snow and I was suddenly stabbed in the back. Coincidentally, it happened to be just outside the house where the men in this case have their lodgings.
I was at the tavern on the eve of which thou speakest, where I had bespoke my supper.
It was the first time I'd been in the area. I had a little matter to attend to, that's all. Anyway, I was admitted straight to hospital, so I knew nothing about all of this business.
Yes, a second incident inside a week at what I believe to be aptly described as the haunted lodgings. One can only presume that this is a most unfortunate coincidence.
Meanwhile, you say you were not in your room, Mr. Shamspeare.
'Twas the following morn when I did awaken that I learned of the dire events. Marry, what commotion did the officers of the law make on the floor above mine?
When Saseki-san was arrested on suspicion of attempted murder.
As suspected, there is nothing connecting these two witnesses but happenstance.
It's true. It does seem as though they're unrelated at first glance, but I'm not so sure. There's something lurking in the shadows here. I feel certain of it. And this is my one and only chance to expose it.
Counsel, you may now cross-examine these two witnesses if you wish.
Yes, my lord. Thank you.
No, I'm good. I don't wish.
I'd rather not.
All right, guilty.
No.
Let's talk. I'm well acquainted with the case. I'm sorry you had to go through that.
That was awful. I still can't believe I was unconscious for so long. I woke up to find that the case had been solved and the culprit arrested.
Yes, the incident had been resolved already. Perhaps it would help you to consider it a bad dream that ended with your awakening, and should now be forgotten.
Yes, I suppose so. Thank you.
So, Clueless, is there a particular point I should pick, or just any time when she's speaking? But before you put it completely behind you, Miss Green, I need you to remember the details one last time. You must tell the court exactly what happened that day, for us to arrive at the truth about this new case.
The trouble is, there's nothing to tell, really. I was just walking along the pavement.
Hold it. What were you doing there that day, though?
Oh, anytime she's speaking will do. If
Yeah.
will work if I recall.
What do you mean?
Hey, you! Excuse me! Do you have something to add, Mr. Shamspear?
'Twas but a few sunrises ago. I got me to the nunnery.
What?
Forsooth, I cannot rightly recommend the place so oft to my fellows without having seen it my own self.
What?
Though upon mine arrival, I was forbidden entrance.
The clue was in the name, I think?
I did tarry a while outside the building in search of some other way inside, but alack,
Alack.
I was arrested by an officer.
That was very illuminating, but perhaps you could just focus on the trial? Hold up. We're going back. Hold it. Okay, what were you doing there? What do you mean? Alright. The art school you attend, what's it called?
Ah, yes. It's the Thorndike Academy of Fine Arts. According to Mr. Sholmes, that's just in the vicinity of Brixton Road, which is some 10 stops away from the scene and on the underground.
I believe you mentioned yesterday that before that you also live on Brixton Road, isn't that right? So why then would you have been walking along Briar Road in the middle of the East End?
Well, it's because, oh yes, of course. I thought it might make a nice picture.
The witness is a student of art. Art.
Vroom vroom.
The witness is a city-dwelling artist can't all paint grand urban vistas.
That's right. I happen to like the crumbling look of that part of town. Perhaps quaint would have been a less grating term.
The point is, she's definitely hiding something.
Yes. It seems she's not going to be forthcoming with the truth.
If she's trying to hide why she was there that evening, it must mean there's a reason for her not wanting us to know. That's the key to this. And you, Mr. Shamspear, on the evening of the incident 6 days ago, would you tell the court what exactly you were doing?
'Twould be my pleasure, sire.
Okay, great. Hold it! A tavern, you say? Which one?
'Twas the Slug and Salad where I did tarry. 'Tis a jewel on the East End.
And a little unexpected, I feel.
What do you mean, Lord?
Motorcycles over here.
I passed him
That was
off.
fast.
What do you mean, Lord Van Zinks? It's the same motorcycle!
I'm under.
The slug and the salad offers you unusually fine dining. For the locality, at least. not an establishment you would expect to be patronized by a man who, with not even a crumb of bread in his room.
It's true. The menu lists premium crusts of bread and glasses of water in different levels of cloudiness.
Oh.
I would have expected Grub's Grubbery in the local vicinity to be a more appropriate for your means. Watery soup and mushy peas, or rather, soupy water and pea-like mush.
Mhm. All equally all equally appetizing.
I just wanted to try some water in a different pub for once. What's wrong with that?
How different can water really be?
Or perhaps there's a more plausible explanation. A specific reason why he had to go to that particular establishment.
Agreed. The fact that on that day of all days, he dined at a place he wouldn't normally, it does stand out. So Mr. Shamspeare's own actions on the day of the incident 6 days ago were slightly suspicious. I wonder if we have some evidence that can explain those actions. Well, so that letter that we found...
Yeah.
Yeah, the letter that we found in Miss Green's room, which by the way is not in our evidence. We have this piece of it. We're pretty sure about that. But that seems like a little bit of a jump, I would think. I'm not sure that we do have anything just yet. I wonder if this is one of those situations where we have to continue with the testimony and then come back once we found something.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try that.
Let's look through it.
Yeah, not at the moment. I wish we did, but sadly I can't think of anything at the moment.
If we find a clue that could explain why Mr. Shamspeare went there, we must present it to the court.
Yes, absolutely.
If that is all on this matter, Counsel, I would like to ask Miss Green to reiterate her next statement.
All right, which number statement was that? That was the third one. Okay. Hold it! What little matter, Miss Green? Please elaborate.
It was nothing, really. It's not worth mentioning.
If you remember, you mentioned it to us yesterday at the hospital. It was related to the card you were holding. Miss Green! What was that? She clearly just hid something behind her back. From memory, I believe the card contained a note that read, "I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross."
Well, what does that matter? This has nothing to do with Duncan.
You! Excuse
you
me.
recognize Duncan.
Mr. Shamspeare, do you have something to share with the court?
No. To be or not to be? That is the question. Oh, pray forgive me. The great bard's word springeth from within me with ne'er a thought.
Don't tell me. It's because you're possessed by Shakespeare's spirit, right? Hearing Miss Green's... That got me. Hearing Miss Green's words a moment ago seemed to make you think of something.
He's a spirit medium.
Something relevance, perhaps? I miss Maya!
I miss Maya.
Nay, sire, 'twas nothing at all.
Presumably you know the name, though? Mr. Duncan Ross, I mean. After all, you were both lodgers in the same house.
I would it were so, but sadly nay. I would it were so, but sadly... not quite.
Wish it was so, but sadly no.
The lodging be a lonely occupation, sir. My lodging fellows be rarely known to me.
So you haven't heard of him, even though he passed away in the room just one floor above yours?
Miss Green.
Me, my lord? Have I done something wrong?
The card that was mentioned before containing the note. Do you have it upon your person?
I do, yes, but I don't need it anymore. In fact, I should throw it away. Throw it away, really.
Throw it away into my hands.
Oh.
Give it to me.
Have we discussed the envelope yet at this point?
Not the full envelope,
We
just
will.
a little piece.
Okay. Before you dispose of it, the court would like to take it as evidence, please.
It's mine now, yes.
There we go.
Of course. That's what links Mr. Shakespeare and Miss Green. It's Duncan Ross.
Now, continue with your testimony, please, Miss Green.
I'm gonna have a look at that. Not even gonna bother with this last one. Give me a moment. Okay. So first of all, you. Hi, what do you have? The envelope has been ripped open rather carelessly, hasn't it? Miss Green strikes me as the type to open correspondence more neatly than that. Ah,
What is it?
the way the envelope is torn, I'm almost sure I've seen that exact same shape of somewhere else.
Oh, you don't mean?
Hmm.
Were you thinking of this piece of evidence, Mr. Naruhodo?
Exactly, that's it. Try to match them up. Yeah.
Ta-da! They
Yeah.
go together perfectly. This torn-off end of the envelope clearly belongs with this card.
Yeah,
And they
baby.
fuse together.
Well, that ties you two together pretty nicely, doesn't it? All right. No, press, yes. And then hold it until they ask me a question. I have no idea where this trial is going. I have no idea what we're heading for.
And that's exciting.
It's pretty exciting. Present evidence, yes.
Present evidence.
Mr. Shakespeare,
Yes, sire?
on the in the day in question, is it not the case that you visited the Slug and Salad, a place you don't normally patronize, for a very particular reason?
On the dot question.
I don't know what you're talking about. Pray, if thou hast some purpose, speakst.
Very well. I will present the court with evidence. Evidence that explains why you had to be at the Slug and Salad that day. Namely, is this? Yeah, take that. No. Oh, okay. I believe this card reveals the answer. You had a fake out on me
The
on that
music
one.
tricked you.
Yeah.
Good lord, Miss Green's card. Oh no, Miss Green's card, you mean?
That's right, my lord. It reads, I have information regarding the death of Duncan Ross. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. Don't tell anyone else about this letter or the meeting. It is a matter of utmost importance. Mr. Shakespeare, your actions on the afternoon of Miss Green's stabbing are exactly as described in this note. Personally, I find it hard to believe that's a coincidence. Don't you, Mr. Shakespeare?
Well,
Excuse me. Can I say something?
no, on a roll.
Yes, Miss Green.
That card was delivered to me. It doesn't have anything to do with this odd man, does it?
Well, you'd think so, yes, but it's hard to believe it's merely...
My lord, may I?
May you what, Miss Green?
I'd like to make something very clear about that card.
Very well then, you may amend your testimony to include details about that particular note.
This note was delivered to me at my address. It has nothing to do with the odd man next to me here.
Objection. The day before the incident, exactly 1 week ago now, this note was delivered to your address, and upon carrying out the instructions in the note, you found yourself in the hospital.
Yes, I did. It's terrible everything that's happened to me.
Yes, it is terrible. If it's all true, that is.
What do you mean?
Miss Green, have a look at this, please. It's the torn off end of an envelope,
Oh, is it?
and it happens that it fits together perfectly with the envelope of the note you received.
Oh, where did you find that?
in Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Eh? In my room?
Mr. Shamspeare, do you perhaps remember this note from somewhere?
Oh, well...
Your actions that afternoon follow the instructions in the note to the letter. Come to the Slug and Salad on Briar Road at 5 p.m. on the 17th. And so that's exactly where you went. Let me ask you again, Mr. Shamspeare. You already knew about this note, didn't you? And you, Miss Green.
What did I do?
As this torn-off envelope of the end of the envelope proves, the note was originally in Mr. Shamspeare's room. So how is it that it came to be in your possession?
I don't have the first idea. I'm just a fledgling artist after all.
There is only one explanation. You broke into Mr. Shamspeare's room and stole it.
You did what? Sorry. Sorry. Thou hast what? You broke? I mean, thou wert in my room? What on earth do you want with me?
It would seem that both witnesses need to testify again.
Get out of my room!
Father.
Miss Green.
Oh.
Whilst you have the court's sympathy, I'm sure, for the suffering you have endured in recent events, anyone found to be giving false testimony in a court of law will be duly punished. Please bear that in mind.
Yes, I know.
Getting real rules card and vibes from Shamspeare.
Good. You
Yeah.
should be.
Very well then, witnesses. You will give formal testimony again now. On the subject of this curious anomaly regarding the note Miss Green claims not to have received.
To have received.
Yeah, 2 have received.
Oh, well.
Okay.
I do remember now. 'Twas a week ago, peradventure, the note was delivered unto me. On the day writ therein, I did tarry a long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet nobody came. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese fellow, I did see the note had vanished.
I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here. And as for that torn off piece of the envelope, I don't know anything about it.
You now claim to have received this letter, do you, Mr. Shamspeare?
Faith, 'tis so, my lord. And I would swear to have set it upon the table in my humble lodgings. Yet 'tis clear to me now that since I returned from the tavern that night, I have not laid eyes upon it.
Well, that being the case, young lady, it would appear that your testimony was...
A lie? Is that what you think? How unfair of you to think that I'm the one lying.
I beg your pardon.
I'm just a fledgling artist, as I said. And fledgling artists don't lie. That note was delivered to me at my address, besides. We all know who the liar around here is.
If that's true, Miss Green, how do you explain the facts? This part of the envelope was without question found in Mr. Shamspeare's room.
I don't see why I should explain.
Sorry?
I'm a fledgling artist. My job here is just to say what's happened, that's all.
That's not what an artist does.
It could be.
It's your job to give the explanations and the proofs. You, the fledgling lawyer.
The fledgling will do his best.
Eventually, or evidently, my learned friend's cross-examination is our only hope of learning the truth. I alt-tabbed, and as soon as I did, it just covered the entire screen.
Well, counsel.
I'm ready, my lord.
Very well, then. The defense will now proceed with the cross-examination of the witnesses.
Miss Green clearly did break into Mr. Shamspeare's room. There can be no question of that. And that's how she acquired the note.
Yes, 2 facts that are starting to lead me to a possible explanation for all of this. And it's not a pretty one. Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Ruh-roh.
Cross-examination. Yeah. Alright, let's talk. Hold it! And can you shed any light on the contents of the note at all?
Nay, sire, 'tis as strange to me as a foreign tongue. Even with a knowledge of literature as great as mine own, verily, 'tis impenetrable.
But Mr. Duncan Ross had lodgings in the same household as you. In effect, he was your neighbor, so surely you knew him, didn't you?
Alack, if the choice is betwixt I knew him and I knew him not, then it is with foreboding that I be forced to declare we were by some small measure acquainted.
Despite your claims, though, you followed the note's instructions and went to the Slug and Salad. Presumably that was nothing to do with your knowledge of literature?
Marry, naught will have thought the better of me, sire, save for the lure of curiosity. So 'tis true, I was compelled by mine own eager heart to betake myself to the tavern. Yet in the end, my curiosity was not satiated.
Hold it. So even after waiting for an hour, nobody appeared?
Well, yes, sire. 'Tis as thou sayest.
Really? You paused for a moment before you answered.
In truth. When thou asked whether nobody appeared, I did suddenly recall.
Really? Do you mean to tell the court that someone did appear after all?
I was not alone that night at the Slug and Salad, my lord, no. 'Tis returning to me now. I did treat my lips to almost clear water, and mine innards to a premium crust of bread. And all around me danced a great many companions.
What do you mean?
Flies, sire, flies!
Good lord!
In the name of Beelzebub, what were they? Fairies, perchance, from a midsummer night's dream come to taunt me?
I think they were just flies.
I can't help thinking that the flies ought to choose something more wholesome to buzz around. Is that wrong of me?
I don't know what you mean. What?
I don't know
What are you
either.
talking about? Alright, let's talk. Hold it. When exactly did you notice it had gone missing?
Such idle thoughts ne'er occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
In other words, you didn't notice.
Several days passed between your outing to the tavern and Mr. Natsume's visit to your room.
Yes, it would appear the note disappeared sometime in the interval.
Oh.
Such idle thoughts never occupy my mind. I am busied with greater ideas.
And yet during that time, Miss Green was comatose in the hospital, was she not? Clearly then, she could not have been stealing things in Mr. Shamspeare's room.
Yes, of course. It's all some sort of misunderstanding, isn't it, Mr. Prosecutor, sir?
You have so far failed to give a satisfactory explanation as to how you came by the notes.
I am not here to advocate for your defense, madam. I won't tolerate inconsistencies in your story. You would do well to remember that.
Oh, dearie me.
What's Lord Van Zeke's getting at? Hold it. It seems that this note was actually delivered to Mr. Shamspears about 1 week ago.
Oh, does it?
But for some reason, it ended up in your possession. I can't think of any way that that could have happened except for you breaking into Mr. Shamspears' lodgings.
Objection!
Well, for what reason would the witness have done that? I won't deny that Miss Green's possession of the note would appear to defy logic. However, until and unless her involvement in this case can be proven in some other way, any further pursuit of this note is meaningless.
Miss Green could only have come to be in possession of the note by stealing it from Mr. Shamspears' room. And yet, there's no obvious reason why she would have done such a thing.
What if there was some other reason she broke into his lodgings, though?
Yes, we should pursue that idea, Mr. Naruhodo.
We're close now. I can feel it. We're so close to a breakthrough. So close. Go, go. Alright, let's talk. So you don't want to tell the court the truth about the letter, is that it?
I'm a fledgling artist, remember? Artists are nearly always introverted characters.
Yeah. Introverted? Fie! This fledgling doth readily cast aspersions about my nature. Yet I am an angel, a seraph. Birds do harmonize with my song. The wind doth frolic on my wing. Oh, pity, wherefore dost thou accuse one so pure of heart, ample woman?
You're of heart. I don't think so. Even a fledgling like me can see you're just a failure.
Wow.
Tragedy! Thou shalt not know the true heart of an artist until thine instruction hereafter by death. Oh, the days! Oh, the years! Alas, to enlighten thee, thou must wait so long and in vain.
Mr. Naruhodo, interject with some clever remark. This is your chance to shine.
I'm no Shakespearean actor, Miss Susato. No, as far as I can tell, the only thing that's going to resolve this argument
is evidence. Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. It's clear that Miss Green did in fact break into Mr. Shamspears' room, isn't it? And that's where she found this letter.
Yes, two more or less foregone conclusions that lead me to one terrifying conclusion.
Terrifying?
Yes, I'm afraid to say that the outcome of this cross-examination may well change how we look at this case completely. Okay, did tarry a long hour. Thereafter, on the evening I shared the company of the Japanese ball. I did see the note had vanished. I don't know what you mean. You think I snuck into this man's room, do you? Why would I? I can point out the villain here and send it for 12 envelope. I don't know anything about it. Any ideas, team?
Not really.
'Twas a week ago, per adventure, the note was delivered unto me. A long hour at the Slug and Salad, yet no one came. Yet...
Why is the court jester Fortnite dancing on the witness bench?
On the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese phone. I don't know. You think I snuck into the... I think it might be this one. Why would she sneak into the room?
Why would I? To put the poison on the thingy.
Revenge?
Sure.
Feels
Or...
like we're getting ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, the board, the movable board under the floor. Is it possible that Shamspear did not know about that, but Olive Green did know about that?
Maybe.
But I don't know how.
Now assumed that the Shamspear was the one who did all of things, but yeah.
I don't know what I would present to point out, like, oh, you cared about that. That's what you cared about.
No, Shamespeare touched the board, remember?
Well, we don't know if it's his skin prints, though.
Yeah, there's no way to make sure about that. All we know is that there are handprints on it. It could be hers.
That's true.
I'm not sure exactly. Huh. Ha 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 ha.
Oh.
Point out the villain here. And as for that torn off, was Shamspear's prince specifically? Is that what he said? Oh. I don't know anything about it. I'm a little lost. I'm not sure what to go for here.
You have examined the poison bottle, right?
I can
that's
examine
true.
this.
We haven't.
Oh, okay.
There's nothing!
So this is the poison we've been hearing so much about, and I'm looking at it from the best angle, strychnine. There are a few remnants on the bottom of the bottle here, look.
You mustn't be tempted to try it.
Of course not. As long as we don't lose this trial.
Oh, no!
No! Even if we lose the trial. No! We mustn't lose the trial in the first place, Mr. Naruhodo.
Make your mind up, Susanna. Okay, good bit. Glad we did that, but, is there perhaps something in the envelope that I can see? Did I miss something on the envelope, perhaps? Is there a thing in... Nope, no text.
No.
Nope, doesn't look like it.
Nope.
I'm tired of Strike 9 when a Strike 10 is coming out. Got him. Uh-oh, I don't know what to do. What time is it? 56?
Almost.
55.
We should at the very least get this, like, next
Yeah.
week going before we end the stream.
This would not be good to
Yeah.
come
Figure
back
out
to.
what it is.
We gotta figure this out.
We'll change our perspective on the entire trial, is what the, like, hint is.
Yeah, but that doesn't really mean anything. Therefore, on the evening, I shared the company of the Japanese tower a long hour at the Slug and Salad. Yet nobody came. I do remember now. It was a it's gotta be this.
Is it though? What was the third one say again? Let me just read through it.
Okay.
I shared the company of the Japanese fellow. I did see the note had vanished.
So that's when he noticed that the letter was gone.
After
But
he
we
got
found
back.
the torn off piece afterwards
Right.
Yes.
in his room.
Right. But according to him, that makes sense. I don't know what you mean.
Yeah, like the only thing that makes sense is if she snuck into his room and took the letter and left behind the torn off piece.
Makes sense.
Yeah. We do.
Why would I? Okay.
Why would you sneak in to murder him?
It could be this. Is it this?
Objection.
Oh my God!
Yes.
What?
Is it seriously this?
Yesterday at the hospital, we saw you with this bottle, and though the contents spilt during the course of our meeting, a small quantity remained. According to the defense's independent analysis, Mr. Sholmes' chemistry set, the liquid that was still in the bottle was identified as strychnine.
What? Strike 9. The very same poison that afflicted Mr. Shamspear.
Oh.
Miss Green, you broke into this man's lodgings for one reason and one reason alone. to cover the end of the pipe that feeds the gas lamp in Mr. Shamster's room with poison.
What to me?
Can this be?
You broke into my room.
It may seem incredible to the court, but from the remaining clues, there's only one logical conclusion that we can reach.
Sis, why would you do that?
The person who attempted to take Mr. Shamster's life with poison was you, Miss Olive Green.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dearie me.
Oh.
Whoa.
Oh God! Order!
Order! Save the progress! Finish the stream! We'll come back to it next time! What's going on? What's happening?
Yeah.
What is going on?
Poison.
I'm really confused about what's going on in this trial. Why does she want to do this so badly? What's going on? What's happening?
I think
maybe
she
she's
assumes that.
Yeah.
Maybe she suspects that Shamsphere is the one who killed Duncan.
That would be a
Yes,
good
that's
reason.
What I was thinking too.
Yeah.
But did he?
Did he?
Yes.
Oh,
Probably.
Well, okay. I guess we'll see about that then.
But where?
But why?
What?
But why?
Buried treasure.
What are we doing tomorrow?
Tomorrow is Psychonauts.
Psychonauts.
Psychonauts! Look forward to
So busy lifting.
it. And this is I guess gas pipe soup.
Strychnine soup.
Strychnine soup.
Watery
Oh.
soup.
Strychnine
Soupy
soup.
water.
Oh, don't eat that.
Watery, soupy
Don't have.
soup.
It's so rare that we suggest a good soup. We gotta.
That is true, but
Yeah.
I feel like
Like yesterday-
that's the bit.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday I suggested missile soup.
missile soup. Don't
you
have.
know what? That's
No.
fair. Strychnine soup, everybody.
Oh no.
Strychnine soup.
Oh god. Don't drink it.
Good night, everyone.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.